Hi, all. Good morning. Thank you for joining in at any point that you join in. So, we're gonna be on a space where we'll be discussing the unfortunate thing that happened yesterday, which was the accident that involved Anthony Joshua and some of his team members. So that's what we'll be discussing here today, and I do hope that unfortunately it's coming live now, but I had that space yesterday anyway. So it's coming live now, but I had that space yesterday anyway. So it's coming live now, but I had that space yesterday anyway. Let me see how this works.
You don't know that man ofuma. Troublemaker.
Oh dear. El, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
I will send you Oh yeah, okay. Okay, that's good. El, yeah, okay, I'll book you my coastal butter. Hey, yeah, that's good. Iwanika. There, welcome. Welcome. Nani ekwere emepe space mgbe misgide space ya sị ka mmepezi anụ nke m no ka anyị niile gbazukọta.
Yes, onye m nọ na-agwa ya ka mepe space ka mepe space. I know holiday. Give there like this, make tuche space, were ki tufuo.
Amamihe bụ onye kwasụzi gị iwe.
Amamo, biko jụọrọ m ya otu m nọ ebe a na ka ọ zaa gị ajụjụ ahụ ugbu a.
Nọni onye kwasụ gị iwe biko nna. Hello.
Ka anyị wee rịọ gị.
Ọ dị ka anyị eluzigo Nọni. Nsogbu
onye luzuru Nọni
So, it's about this thing that happened to someone else has joined us, and I'm not sure if he's Igbo speaking, so I'm just gonna change to English just in case. I will invite him to speak as well. Oh yeah. So it's about the thing that happened to Anthony Joshua earlier. It's been in the news, So what do you think about it? That's why, people will tell you just have money, you go enjoy Niger. Imagine him with all his money. Noni, we can hear you.
Okay. So one few days I went to space. So they missed up with one.
No, they my bro.
2026. But 2026, I want to be active. Not on capital.
No, not that I'm an Igbo man. I'm from Abia State, Abia State. I love my Igbo brother to be at the highest position in government, which is the presidency. But then I doubt that the foundation of Nigeria will be able to make Nigeria. It will be able to make people be from Nigeria into that you want it to be. So I want it to be. I am being very honest because a country that is built on lies and brutality and all manner of wickedness from the state, these politicians. I don't think it can happen. Sorry, it can rule, but making Nigeria a better place. We are on a long thing. I love him. I'm an Igbo person. I want him to rule, but the solution to Nigeria problem is not having an Igbo man rule. But the solution of this
just one simple thing you need to understand. And that is this. Peter Obi can only do one thing for everybody. That is putting everybody into the system. So also that thing alone is good. I don't know what I don't know if you understand what it means to be in the system. Because I'm on the other side.
So, Mananoli, did you know the challenge I am with? The challenge I am with now, which is the major thing, the major concern people are running from. The system is already rigged against P2B, no matter how he tries. That is the actual concerns. Like the system, this thing is in default setting. It's in pure default setting.
Sorry to tell you this, man. Did you actually witness 2015 election?
Yes, of course. Why? I was fully informed.
Now, the polling unit in Moano, I was the presiding officer. So now, in that particular zone, only caliber of people not seen at that place, their determination, their zeal, and what they were fighting for stood to light. In my wife, I'm on the polling unit. Some talks, could you believe Nambai the Remecha that thing around every 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. People were still there counting votes with me. Coalition vote, their vote was counted. Before I even a coalition center, those people were still awake. Tomorrow say that all results. You know why? Because they know what they want. Now, internet at the government model. Sorry to say, internet at the time, most of our people are somehow stupid. This is to vote. Say photo, go say I Tom Bogey need to go vote. Now I say baby. Now can they go see the vote? That is one. Now, secondly, you guys there with the beavers. You have never used it before. The amount goes your function is a new device. That device I with now because the government that we are in today came in with manual. So Kegos a sitting government need a three with beavers. That is the wrong move.
Nani, sorry to cut you short. We have a few more people joining us, and I've noticed 2 people who are not Igbo speaking.
Okay.
If you don't mind, please. Thank
you. The beavers itself, you can't beat them with that because that's the system they are into. It's just like you trying to look at what happened in Anambra State. You have already a current governor that is ruling the Anambra State. Now, the election, nobody wants the current governor to win. Nobody wants. You want to go? So, but by the end of the day, the deal is done. He's still the governor of the state. That is to tell you that it's always hard and difficult to defeat a sitting governor or a sitting president.
Which is why I said the system is already rigged.
Unless you have the numbers. Do you understand? What do I mean by the numbers?
But 2023, people have the numbers.
You will see in a polling unit, you can never do otherwise. Trust me. During that APC change, most of people that were on that particular zone, they were shouting change. They just want that change. Which most of the people that were there was even weak. Like, okay, let's see what the change is all about. They won the election that year. Now they took over. They have been.
Nani, can I ask you a question? Do you think that people will have that same zeal they had in 2023? You know how you said people voted and they stayed to.
And they stood there. That's what I wanted people to do.
Do you think people will still? Do you think they will still do that in 2027?
Yes, okay, now watch. That is the effect of social media. In 2015, this is 2025. We are entering 2026. That is approximately 10 years gone, right? Now, the people in this particular politics now, do you believe that if people can march out and stood their ground, no matter what the chaos is, that we must surely see to it? My dear, the government cannot do otherwise. Trust me. But the truth is this. When people come in, you might hear gunshot, everybody will just disappear. Once you disappear, nobody's there. They can do otherwise. But where my question is lying is that, what if we voted our own person and everybody voted for the person, and we were sleeping again, waking up, and they tell you that it's the other person that won the election? What do we do? When you solve my problem, that is my real problem, because it's no longer manual. Yes, it's no longer manual. If it's manual, you can be on the INEC, whatever. You stand there. If anybody wants to write anything on any book,
Sound mind, please. English, please. The space has kicked off. We have people joining us, and at least I know Oluwamo is not Igbo. If I'm not sure about the other people, just so everybody can follow us. And if we can now start shifting to the topic, which is about what happened to Anthony Joshua. What are your thoughts? Thank you so much.
This particularly, I don't know, NK, probably. I was.
Well, I mean, we can still tie it down to the state of our government anyway.
No, I understand what you're
however, whichever angle you want to come from, that is great.
I understand something.
So, the question I asked you earlier was, do you think that people will still show that type of zeal that they showed in 2023, like voting and standing to defend their vote, especially after the experience that they had with the court and the experience of the NSAS?
All right, I want to let you understand something here that is playing. Now, we know who we want to be the president. We know who we want to sit on that particular throne. But there is this particular thing that differentiates our candidates from the people that are ruling us, which is what? Bloodbath. The people in government can kill. They can do anything just to be in power. But our own person wouldn't want people to shed blood for him to be there. That is the only difference. Because if you calculate 2023, he won the election. And the INEC official says otherwise. Now, a lot of persons during that period, we are waiting for him to give that order. If he gives the order, a lot of persons are willing to die for PPB than any other politician in Nigeria. That is pure fact. Now, he himself doesn't want that chaos. He doesn't want that bloodbath and killing and shooting and all that. He just wants everything to be amicably done, peacefully, no bloodshed. Now, NK, this comes to the question. The truth of the matter is this. If everybody, there is no halfway, you must surely be all in. All in the sense that we are fighting a very terrible government. Very wicked, the most wicked I've ever seen in my life. Because for you to be able to hold food, for people not to eat so that they can die, is the worst you can ever do. So the truth is, if people will come out to vote and stand to see that their vote counts, with ever protection we can come up with, and I still believe in this particular factor of mine, the power of the people will always be greater than people in power. That is the truth, and you cannot bend it.
So, are you sure?
What are you saying? Let's put it this way.
I'm not going to argue.
Wait.
I'm not going to.
Wait. Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. In the military, I'm asking you, L. In the military, how many in numbers do you think that the military are? The police people, how many do you think that they are? The Navy, how many do you think that they are? Since you've been hearing of slaughtering, killings, kidnapping, have you ever heard, have you ever noticed, have you ever seen in the news that one of the Niger Deltas has been killed, or that one of the Niger Deltas has been abducted, or one of the Niger Deltas has been shot down? Have you heard of it before? I'm asking you, L. Answer that question before I continue.
Continue with what you're saying, please.
So do you think that those people are not, do you think that those people are not Nigerians? They are all Nigerians, if you don't understand. Now, truth is this. Everybody in this country has tested that particular wrath of this particular government. They want that same change. that came 2015. So truth is this: if we all will match out one beat, it's not about social media talk. It's not about being on social media. It's about coming with one mind. There is no division. Once you bring that division, you lose. That is why you need the numbers. When you see
Nigeria
a crowd shouting, when you see a crowd echoing, the sound alone will make you tremble. Their voice alone will make you shake, no matter the kind of evil. And there is nothing about life. When you're fighting justice, the justice alone that you're fighting will stood before you that is fighting. That is the real life story. Do you get? So, I still believe that this particular clock you're seeing can be replaced and will be there. Our own candidate will win. That is the real truth. So, but people will come and vote. They will go to the internet. They will snap. I voted. They are going home. They will not go and sit in their parlor and be tweeting and watching movie, waiting for the same government that was on the throne to call the results so that they will tell you, Peter Bias, you will be there.
Noni, I don't think you've answered Mommy Enke's question.
What did the Enke ask? I've answered that.
My question was, is, do you think that people will still show that same level of commitment that they showed in 2023? Do you think we can still get that in 2027?
Yes, they can, on one particular reason. And that reason is this: if our candidate gives us that particular strength, that faith, that hope, that at this particular point in time that we are getting it right, then we will move.
And you feel people will give you that.
People will
give you that.
You said? My brother, let me tell you something. Peter is a human being just like me. There is no sugarcoating it. He's a human being. He's doing the best he can. The real future of this particular country are the people that are in school. If you don't go through educational system, my brother, there's nothing you can do. And for you to be able to gain power back, you must go through politics. There is no other way. If you don't go through politics, they will gun you down. Trust me. You must go through that pattern because that was the same pattern they used to come in. If you don't go through that pattern, you will lose. How did the APC government become in power? Is it not through politics? I'm asking you, it's not through politics.
Okay, Nani, let me comment more a bit. Yeah, because it seems as if you're from the angle you are coming from. That angle is disconnected from our reality. Except if we don't want to be telling ourselves the truth. Or if we are actually judging from our reality, like current inventories, you will understand that this thing that you are saying, Nigeria has gone past that stage already. In fact, the reality is that this government, this political class, this set of people that has taken over Nigerian politics and power has, in one way or the other, successfully trapped Nigerians in a state where they cannot unify, like they cannot unite for any meaningful purpose. That is the fact. Nigerians cannot at this point, and that is why some of these analysis that we normally argue on spaces is not working. Because we are not allying these things with the reality. We have a reality where bigotry and tribalism, this religious sentiment, one can no longer allow us to unite to achieve that particular purpose you think that we can achieve with Peter Obi. Because for Peter Obi to take power, like to get power now from Tinubu, it means that the masses, the general masses must unite. Now we are having a situation where the general masses in the first place is finding it very difficult to unite until Nigerians begin to maybe unite for one purpose. Like we say, okay, 2027, this is what to, and again, funny enough, our opposition leaders, let us tell ourselves the truth. Our opposition leaders are not even playing the politics that can give us power. Except if we want to be lying to ourselves. Our opposition, even including P2B, they are not even playing these politics that can collect power from Tinubu. Except if we want to continue wishing our way till 2027, where we believe that, okay, by then, is it not P2B, people will come out. Forgetting that there are several sentiments that has piled up just after the election. That crowd that we pull up the other time, 2023, as it stands now, we will find it difficult to gather such crowd again that can, in one uniform, vote for P2B again. And these are points that people are not paying attention to. Everybody is just believing, it's not, let them give P2B ticket, we'll go and win the election. When Tinubu, a person who we all know how he maneuvered his way, even without power yet, being in the power in the corridor of power yet. Now that he is in the corridor, this power is in his hand. You are playing to collect back the power from this person. And we all think that what we are doing, we don't even have up to 15 months left. Like, we don't have up to 15 months left. And do you know what thing I have understand that have just happened? If it is in a Senate country where opposition are opposition, do you see what is happening with terrorism in Nigeria? How, in fact, this current government were able to allow another country to take up their own responsibility. Look, let me tell you, if it is a Senate country, opposition leaders will leverage on that alone to at least make sure that by even that 2027, the people already know that there is no way this government should ever allow to go in again. But opposition leaders are not even taking advantage of these opportunities that are coming in. They are not even playing the card of opposition. Everybody is just wishing that 2027 all Nigerians are hungry enough to come out and vote out Tinubu. It doesn't work out that way. It doesn't work. And we have seen it play out. It never works. We've seen it in Edo. We've seen it in Imo State. We've seen it in Anambra. Except we want to continue lying to ourselves. These things that we are wishing that will happen is not working. It's not working. We've lost a momentum at a bit. And we need to understand that we've already lost a momentum that we need to rebuild. And nobody, not even the opposition leaders, are rebuilding that momentum. As it stands now, Tinubu and his APC people are still beating us in let me not say our game, in their own game as it stands. So me, I will no longer continue to maybe believe that, okay, when I'm seeing Koro that nobody is making any efforts that can give us any tangible results coming 2027. We as Nigerians, we are not even showing any sign that we are ready to make those efforts that you are saying, Nolly, that Nigerians will collectively come out 2027, where bigotry, where sentiment of Christians are coming against Muslims internationally, where all these sentiments are stirred down, and nobody is working towards how to bring Nigerians together. No opposition leader all of them are just playing their politics. Even when we even see opportunities where we can leverage on, nobody is even doing that. So you want to tell me that we will continue wishing that, okay, 2027 will be fine, when we are not playing the politics, the grand politics. Nobody is playing those grand politics that can give us this win. And you think 2027 will just come and will win power from Tinubu? It doesn't make any sense, and it will never gonna make any sense. All I see, let me tell you guys the truth, all I see is a people that want to continue living in their bubbles, wishing away their problems, in a way that maybe we all want to believe that 2027 there will be a different spark. There will be a one spark that will just make Nigerians come gather up again. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's continue.
Thank you so much, Sandmine. No, you have your hand up. You want to say something?
Yeah. I just want to first welcome a lot of persons that are here on the space. And whatever you're coming from, just know that you're welcome here. We accept you. Your presence here is highly valued, right? So, sound mind, in as much as that we are not tackling the topic on the head, but I just want to say this, and then I will not go there again so that we can be able to focus on the topic that has been here from our host. So, one of the worst things I hate in life is people selling false idea and false faith to people that are thinking and believing and having faith that there must surely be a working and possible Nigeria. Because we all are adults here. There are people still writing their junior work. There are people still writing their common entrance. I don't know if you're thinking about that. And those people, they have future. I don't know if you get me. Some of those people, their parents are not buoyant enough to fly them to abroad, maybe to school there, or to have scholarship to school over there. Yes, you must be thinking that as a person, because these are the future of the country. Now, I want to tell you something that you don't understand. In life, this APC now that you see, they came in collaboration in 2015, and they won the election with the numbers they have, because all votes were counted where I was. I don't know where you were then, but where I was a presiding officer. Those people refused to leave. Even after 2 a.m., they were still there. Do you know what it is? Even elderly people, they were still there without moving. After they must have had gunshot on that same particular polling unit, they ran away, they still came back. They didn't flinch while they were still there. 2 a.m., we were still counting votes. 1, 2, 3, everybody was shouting. Now, what I'm telling you is this. If we can come in that same collaboration mind to fight one particular cause, which is APC, my brother, there is no going back on it. There is a mass you will see. You yourself, you will flinch. Something will take over you, will do otherwise. I know what I'm telling you. So you come in here telling us that P2B now, some persons are saying it's P2B or nothing. Now P2B still declared, he can say that he's no longer interested. Who will you argue with? If P2B said that he's not contesting, are you going to be blaming me? Or will you blame NK? No. You will not blame anybody. He's just a human being just like us. He is doing the best he can. He's going to not doing so many things to the northern part. The northern part are the people you need if you don't get it right. The northerners have 19 states out of the 36. 35, let me exclude FCT. 19 deducted by how many is remaining? Then you add the easterners. So, in his own side, he is doing everything possible to take it the way it's supposed to be without any bloodshed. That is what I want you to understand. Without any chaos, without any bloodshed. That is what he's doing. So, him declaring that he will be on the ballot paper as a presidential candidate gives us all the things we need. We are the ones to campaign for our candidate, not you telling us that we are facing reality. What reality are you facing? Everybody has seen it to the core. Campaign will move you if you don't understand how Nigeria works. Campaign will move you. You will start acting in the justice. You will see people. They will tell you, oh, you won't make hunger kill you. If you like, don't know what they do. You will still see more than that mass that you see. All we need is the person in question to tell us, let's go. That we must surely conquer that Asoro. My brother, you will see people. People will still fly down if you don't get it. I'm telling you the real fact. There is no other person on that ballot box that you want to vote for. Nobody. That is the real truth. But you coming here, selling all these ideas that we are not telling ourselves the truth. What do you want us to do? You want us to go back, to be sleeping, and maybe cross our legs? Tomorrow they will not tell us, okay, the APC have won, everybody will go back. Is that what you want? No, brother. You will do what you can. You will do what you can. Sorry to tell you this, but that was a wrong idea coming from you. Telling people to maybe crush their faith, forget about the election. There is no positive outcome. It doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make one single sense.
I don't think that's what I was saying anyway.
I did not interrupt you when you
Well,
were
that's
speaking.
not what
Calm.
you meant.
Be
Though. I don't
calm.
think that's what you meant.
Be calm. I did not interrupt you when you were speaking. I allowed you to finish. So now, I wouldn't love when you interrupt me. Even though I'm a co-host, I will not meet anybody. I just want you to understand something. I have told you before, this same government have checked everywhere around. No single error coming from our own candidates. That is one. Now, secondly, this same candidate doesn't want any bloodshed or any chaos or any riot of any kind because they know that the Nigerian government will gun you down. The only means we have is to come together as one, be you whatever, because that was the same thing they did in 2015. It's through collaboration that this particular APC came to power, and it's politics. You can't beat them on any other path apart from that same politics. That is the same way you have to come in. Why am I fighting for justice or maybe the election itself? It's so that everybody can be in the system. That is the only thing I want. If Nigerians, we all are in the system, my brother, everywhere settled. You can ask anybody. Even that we are in the Western world, where the things are working fine. Know what system is. So you come in here telling us or selling the ideas of that we should face reality of that we are losing when election has not been conducted is a very bad idea coming from you, bro. There are people that are in school, primary, nursery, secondary, they are writing WAEC, junior WAEC. These people, they are from this country, bro. They don't have any other country. They have that particular zeal. They have what they want to become in the future. In the same Nigeria, it's not everybody that have money to go to abroad and school. If you don't understand. So you can't come and tell me that people that have already seen hunger, people that have seen people locked palliative so that people can die, that they will see where a positivity is moving and they will stay stagnant, bro. You don't say that idea. It's an error. It's an error. For Peter to declare that he's coming as a presidential candidate is enough for us if you don't understand. Are you?
Okay, guys, thank you so much for that. Soundmind, I see your hand is up, but we'll come back to you so we can listen to other people. And so I can also use the opportunity to welcome everyone who has joined us. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being here. As you can see, the topic we want to discuss today is about what happened to Anthony Joshua. Some people would say Nigeria has happened to him. That is the most, common thing that we all say. And I've heard so many people say, oh, just have money, you will enjoy Nigeria. But what is the extent of that enjoyment? And what do we call enjoyment, actually? Because if you have seen the videos coming out from what happens to Anthony Joshua, it's quite shameful that there was no ambulance, there was no paramedics. You could just see that people were lifting him, and putting him, I think, in a police vehicle or something like that. For somebody in his status, it's imagine someone else who was thinking about coming to Nigeria, seeing that, and then thinking, okay, is this what I'm going to deal with? So what do we actually call enjoyment in Nigeria when people tell you, oh, just have money in this country, you will enjoy? That is what I want us to focus on. I know at the end of the day, it still boils down to politics. So I don't mind if people bring politics into it, but none of you laughing. But if we will focus, at least let's start with focusing on the topic for now, and then it can go haywire as we go down the road. Mr. B, I see your hand up. Thank you for joining in. You have the mic, please.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, everybody. What an opportunity to be here to speak on the space. I remember my humble self, Mr. B, and I want to say everybody here is really, really valid. I would have listened more, but I have low battery, so I just want to put a little bit, put in my thoughts on this topic. The truth is this, on Saturday, that's 2 days away from now, I had traveled to a place they call Ehime Mbano, I don't know, in Imo State, for a wedding. When I was coming back, it was night already. So I made efforts to try to overtake somebody. My car was full. That is, my fuel tank was full. So just for me to overtake somebody, I didn't know that there was a pothole ahead of me. And that was how I dived into that heavy pothole, which almost wrecked my vehicle. Now, the point I'm trying to bring is this. No matter how expensive you feel your car is, no matter how comfortable you feel you are, the country is in a terrible shape. So, just like I said, I had a full tank that I could drive, but I nearly ran into the bush due to that accident that befell me. And we were about 4 persons, 3 persons behind, and myself and the other person in front. We almost lost our lives in that situation in Ehimembano in Imo State. So whether you have money or not, Nigeria can happen to you. Even why that happened to us, my tire busted. You know what it means to be in the speed trying to overtake somebody? That means you would need a higher speed to overtake somebody. So for me to get into the gallop and my tire busted, that's to tell you the gravity of that pothole. So if something had happened, even when my tire busted, I was trying to courtesy a lot of people to stop and give me their jack to lift up my car. I stood there for almost 2 hours. A fault not being theirs because they are also scared. For 5 men who are just standing on the road claiming that their tire got bad, they too, they are scared to even come and assist me, to come and assist us. But we're really in desperate situation. But however, nobody cares because they're also concerned about their own safety. So that is to tell you how bad the country has become. If it was in a civilized situation that happened to Anthony Joshua, I saw about 2 people that was gone on the ground there, during that accident. If it was a working country, a chopper from the state emergency unit would have come immediately and picked Anthony Joshua and taken him to the closest facility. But because we have failed, our leaders has failed. They only want to put on big rings, drive the most expensive cars. Now let me bust your bubble. We stayed that accident that happened to me happened around 7 o'clock. So we weren't able to get any vulcanizer to fix that car till around 11:30. At 11 o'clock, we saw a bullion van with 1 Jeep and 1 Corolla. A bullion van, 1 Jeep, 1 Corolla. No physical siren in order for them not to cause commotion. I made mistake. My phone was low that night. I wanted to take a picture of it. Around 11:30, they were transporting money. Money. I'm telling you the gospel truth. So that is to say, somebody, either a senator or even a governor, had given instruction for them to pass money through that route. But to fix our road, nobody can fix the road. I would have snapped it, but I was struggling with my phone because I wanted my phone to be on. Imagine getting involved in an accident around 7 o'clock, and you're getting, before leaving, you're around 11:30. Look at the time I spent there. Nobody could help. And that bullion van passed with money. I may not say whether it's with money, but how can a bullion van be passing by the middle of the night without money? With just 2 vehicles following it behind. 1 Jeep and 1 red Corolla. So that is the country we are. The people decide to be enriching themselves rather than making things good for the community. When we got to Abia State, that's I think Abia, if people that are familiar with that road from Ehimembano to Abia Tower, it's a straight road. After what is this local government? Obowu. Then you enter Abia State. The road went from Abia State.
Now road.
Yes.
Road. Yeah.
The Abia State area was very good. In fact, OT is currently working on the road. The road is they are working on the road, and they finished one part of the road. But the other one, when it goes to, as it enters Imo from Obowu, it's something else. And we say that Hope Uzodinma, who happens to be the governor of that state, I think he's the renewed hope agenda. This is bad leaders. Bad leaders. So talking about your money can do nothing. Very close to nothing. Anthony Joshua is a millionaire in dollars. But his millions can't help him at the time. There are some times that our individual money can't help. We need a system. It's a system that can help. Even Paradventure, you'll be surprised with his money. He will even get to the hospital and they'll tell him there's no syringe. They'll tell him there's no light. You get it. It's not about the money. So it's not about the money. So the reason why somebody can sell this 50 million naira house in Nigeria to go and drive Uber outside the country is not because of the money. It's because of safety. It's because of response. Because of emergency. In case anything happens, they can work on them. So money doesn't play any significant factor when it comes to Nigeria. That aside. Now let me speak about leadership a little bit. You know, some people are talking about P2B is a very sound candidate that can transform the country within a twinkle of an eye. You know, but however, let's look at it from this perspective. People are saying that let's give, I've been in some space who are saying that let's give Atiku a slot. Now, I want to intertwine this with international politics. If you are giving Atiku a slot, you know already that the eyes of the US is already in Nigeria. So that is the reason why we can't even waste our ticket on Atiku. Because I'm just putting out my point. Yeah, some other person can debate with me anyways. The reason why we would not want to give Atiku a ticket is because it's going to be a waste. The United States of America is currently, you know, how is it called? Currently interested in Nigeria matters. If what is it called? Trump would ask, he would say, who was the former governor of Nigeria, president of Nigeria? They say Buhari. They say, where is he from? They say he's a Muslim. Who's the current president of Nigeria? They say, Tinubu. Where is he from? They say he's a Muslim. Who's the vice? A Muslim. It is, and most of the killings we're having, just like we're hearing over the time, they say it's religious killing. In fact, they've tagged it genocide, meaning that it's a killing from the Muslim angle to the Christian, and the Muslims are encouraging it. That is what it is being said, quote and unquote. If we give Atiku the ticket, he's going to waste the ticket for the ADC. So I don't know if anybody is aware, anybody that is close to Atiku or the ADC should inform them that they should not waste our ticket on Atiku, because Nigeria is in a peculiar situation. It is very important, fundamental, that a Christian candidate takes over the helms of affairs of Nigeria as of the next election. If they do not give it to a Christian candidate, there is going to be problem. It's going to be considered a conspiracy to deliberately kill or stifle the Christian community. So please, let's sound this as a warning, and also let's advise our principal P2B to see has international recognition. Let him afford himself opportunity to see Trump. Maybe he may not see, but let him make an attempt to see him. You know, that was how these guys did propaganda. I went and saw what is it called, Obama the last time, during the time of Jonathan. Let him also do this propaganda. There is nothing wrong in doing propaganda to go and see Trump. We need this ticket by all costs. We need this ticket. I'm talking so passionately because I've experienced firsthand the ills of bad governance. Firsthand. I'm not talking about the people that their loved ones were butchered, were murdered. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about even something as insignificant as almost being in an accident. So if we know people who know P2B, let's tell P2B it's time to start playing international politics. He should for now suspend the 15 million he's giving to schools. Let's move to the US. The stage is ripe. Let's try to play international lobbying. These guys played international lobbying when it was Jonathan's time. Let him start playing it. Let him start using the chairs to play international lobbying. We want to see Trump in any single way possible. Let's Obi start making that strategic move. I don't know if he has started making it. However, he should not make it secret. We don't want anything secret anymore. If he was going to see Trump, it should be published. It should take pictures. We want to see it. We want these people to be palpitating. We want them to get high blood pressure before 2027. We want them to be scared. We want them to imagine. Look at what Wike went to his place and was saying. Look at what Umahi, ordinary Umahi that was just given opportunity to be governor. He's talking to people. Imagine people with no pedigree, with no integrity, coming to talk to people that have stuff that have gone to all the corners of the university of the world. Best universities of the world to acquire knowledge, and then these ones that are just here stealing money, thinking that is the basis of integrity, stuffing it in their drawers, coming to talk, say rubbish to Obi. So please, I'm being passionate. I don't talk this harsh on spaces, but it got to me. It got to me because Anthony Joshua would have gotten better. Anthony Joshua would have been respected if the system was actually working. I feel so bad. I feel so terrible. I feel so terrible that if it was me, what if it was me? What if the day I was coming, the accident was heavy that it cost my car to somersault at that time? Nobody would help. I mean, I'm not talking about government help now. Even the citizen doesn't have the courage to help because they think everybody is evil. It's sad. It's sad. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak on the space. My name remains Mr. B, and I love a lot of people to follow me if you think you love my views. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. B. And how did you manage to deal with your car, with the experience you had? You didn't finish the story, but oh well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so as at around 11:20, a bike guy just came around and said he can take the tire to a person that would fix the tire for me. So I imagine just changing tire, costs me about 19,000 to just change the tire. It's not any fault of theirs because number one, the vulcanizer that is supposed to change the tire is already late at 11 o'clock. So we have to inconvenience him to come and do whatsoever he wants to do. Then the bike guys has to carry their bike and move around at midnight looking for where to help. So at the end, I paid them about 19,000, which is ordinarily not supposed to be so high, as that thing was supposed to cost me 500. But I paid 19,000. But I'm still happy because it was to my safety. If I had stayed there till 4 o'clock or 12 o'clock, do I know what will happen to me? So I still thank God. So that is it. As around 11:40 or thereabouts, we moved because they later brought the tire and we fixed it and we moved. So
yeah. Thank you for sharing that experience with us. It's really quite unfortunate because this Joshua's accident, actually from what I heard, his car had hit is it a truck that was stationary. So it's not a situation that they were on their way and maybe hit a car. So they hit a stationary vehicle. So I'm still imagining how the extent or how that happened, that two people died instantly. 2 people lost their lives. And then obviously Joshua was lucky enough to have made it out alive. But I also heard that he's been flown. He should have been flown out by now anyway, that he's been flown out of the country for them to have a better look at his injuries. So that's the country we are in. Because Mr. B, when you were talking, you said if the system was working, that Joshua wouldn't have, that he could have gotten a better treatment, which is true. But I'm also thinking that if we had a better system, that accident may not have happened. Because it could be a case of a trailer or something just parking anywhere on the road, with the type of chaos that we have and dangerous drivers and vehicles that we have all over Nigeria. Because if it was in a working system, probably that car wouldn't have been parked wherever it was parked, and that accident wouldn't have happened. Not to talk about them getting an immediate, care, medical care. But be that as it may, Sunmind, you have your hand up. We'll take you before we go. We have a few more other speakers. Real Everbest, who hasn't spoken at all, but Sunmind, we take you. Noni, would you be able to stay the space for 15 minutes?
I'm here.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Thank you.
Sarah, thank you very much. Thank you. You see, I just came back to because I see that Noli misunderstood what I said the other time. Honestly, everything. It's not funny, Noli. You just, in fact, you just twist everything that I just that I said.
Oh, you are seeing my submission as an art boss. If you
no, it's not. But no.
Calm down now.
before you keep person now, you go allow the person to explain himself, right?
What's bringing kill on this particular issue? Let's hear you.
Thank you. Now, you see, and this is one of the reasons why, for long now, I stopped arguing politics, because, first of all, in Nigeria, there is one thing we need to understand in politics, and sometimes it's not. I see it is not. It's not most people's fault, because a lot of people on this app, a lot of people came to politics barely 2023, just because of the wave of what happened 2023, and that's why a lot of people get involved. So many people don't know how Nigerian politics is being played locally here, and that's why sometimes when you say something, it looks as if it's not real, or you are speaking out of the moon. But the truth remains that there are ways. If we want to, if you identify a problem, first of all, you need to know how to tackle that problem. And there are problems that if you don't tackle it like the way it should be, the way you needed to tackle it, you will not achieve any result or success. You will just be, doing the same thing and maybe expecting different results. And that is where I want a lot of people to pay good attention in this politics of today that we are playing. Look, the system, I don't know why it's hard for people to understand, is a single fact. The system itself is rigged against us, is our word against theirs. I mean the political class. And they have successfully built a system whereby no matter how hard, we've seen how it has played over the past 24 years. No matter how hard we tried to make wave towards success, you see that it will not work, because originally, on default, the system is already rigged against us. If you check, you will see that even in last election, 2023, we have all the electoral reform. Everything was perfect. In fact, that reform alone made a lot of Nigerians, both people in diaspora, get involved in Nigerian politics. We have a reform that made Nigerian youth, nobody was playing ball on the streets again, just as we used to do initially. Everybody get involved. But do you know, with all that effort, with all the struggle that we did, and we know, Nigerians came out in their numbers. We won the election. Forget the jamboree that happened. We won the election. But you see that it is a rigged system. It's on default. No matter how you want to win, the system is already rigged against you. And currently now, you see this ADC, this coalition that is being formed. One thing we need to understand about this coalition is that there are a lot of people involved in the coalition that has already stirred up sentiment. Just that they are involved in the coalition, a lot of people will not even bother to come out to vote. And that is, and if we can want to slide it away as we used to do, but these are sentiments that are pure valid. A lot of people don't want to get involved with anything that had to do with Erufai. A lot of people that don't want to get involved with anything that has to do with Malami. And these are Nigerians. People that that are backbone to PO, which is the voting bloc that is the strength of PO. And we have, within this voting bloc, we have people that will swear over their dead body they cannot do anything with Erufai. As long as Erufai is there, as long as Malami is there, they will mention a whole number of them. In fact, PO happens to be the only person that can make any reasonable Nigeria come out to vote. And we have seen, except if you are not, me, I'm an insider. I'm not just talking. I work for PO. It's over getting to 3 years now. And my blueprints are up there in my timeline. You can go and check. I work and I play my part. So, and even within PO's camp, a lot of people still with this sentiment that no. And we might think that maybe these things doesn't have any effect. And these are where me I'm raising concerns. Let us not just be wishing that it's going to play well, while all is not well. The coalition itself is not even looking good. And this is where we are leveraging our strength to win this election. Where this our PO's voting block, is it really voting block at all? Is it until 2027 people will start realizing? By then, maybe it is late. We didn't work. We didn't prepare well, or maybe something along the line, or maybe we ignore these concerns. As at that point, it will become an issue. So this is local politics. It's not something that people will whip sentiment and people will ignore. So these are things I'm pointing out, even within the coalition, which make me to be telling you that, you see, 2027, one, we don't even have time. Two, is that there are so many things that is wrong, even with the coalition. Yes, maybe we want to be lying to ourselves, but this is just my own points. Thank you.
Right. Sound mind. I've heard what you said, but in as much as you flip the topic, while talking about the Nigerian government and its election, I will come back for you, though. Let me hear from the real soldier. I am pure as one evening.
I just have bro. Shout out to normally I didn't even come to this place to talk, but there's some gibberish you hear and you just have to request for the mic. First things first, I believe the topic is about Anthony Joshua and the accident that happened. But when I got in here, I was hearing a lot of a very uncomfortable rhetoric, and just, it was either I leave or I just, make some correction. First of all, sound mind, you don't work for PO. Secondly, you're one of the whatever, the Biafran agitators or whatnot, or whatever you guys call yourself, whatever you choose to identify, that's what you are. So stop coming here to tell people you work for PO. You don't fucking work for PO.
Okay, I've heard you. Thank you.
Hold on. I didn't reject you. So you're not gonna do that to me when I'm done.
You don't talk to me directly. I don't want to interject you.
Sound mind, please. I'm begging you. When you were speaking, nobody interrupted. If you do again, we might take you down. Allow him speak. When he's done, you can have your seat, please.
But you can't attack me directly, and I won't say anything.
Okay, allow me speak. Riffraff. So when I'm done, you can do whatever you want.
You are hearing the insult, and you are okay with that, right?
These are the issues.
But if I insult you back now, you don't insult me now. See, Adibusi, let me tell you. Adibusi, we have your receipt already. Your receipt, Yapa everywhere.
Sound mind. Sound mind. I'm begging. Sound mind. I'm begging you. Just allow him speak. When you are speaking, nobody interferes. Allow him speak. Just something mature people can do. Just allow him speak.
Nolly, he can't insult me, and you want me to allow him to speak. He's insulting me.
Allow him speak. Just allow him speak. You've been speaking all this while. Just allow him.
You can't allow him throw insult on me.
Even though you want to reply him, just
unprovoked. You can't allow him throw insult on me.
No, nobody's throwing insult at him, but just allow him.
But you hear him call me riffraff.
No insult.
You heard him call me riffraff, right?
I've said no insult. Trust me, no insult. Just allow him speak.
Because me, I know how to insult too.
Oh, because you're not insulting anybody. Nobody's insulting anybody. Allow him speak, please. Aji, you have the audience, please.
So, like I was saying, I really don't like when people come here. They make all kinds of bold claims. You work for people. At the same time, you're telling people you work for people, and at the same time, you're telling people in the PO camp like how and why are you contradicting yourself? How does that even make sense? You understand? So you're not gonna come here and make very bold claims, and just bullshit your way around some of these things. I mean, if you want to talk about the accident that happened in Lagos and the whole Anthony Joshua thing, you can go ahead and talk about it. That's fine. But you're not gonna come here and tell people, discourage people and talk about the whole how bad. We all know Nigeria is bad, and of course we all know we condemn the system and whatnot. All these tired, recycled talking points. You understand? We all know Nigeria is bad. Nobody's I don't think even people with that side don't say Nigeria no good. We're trying to change the system from within. That's the only way you can change it. This whole idea or illusion that, let's flip the coin and just turn the country all around and just do whatever. Look at people in Somali land, they build from within, and today they're getting recognition. Everybody's applauding them. You understand? That's what we're asking for. We're not asking for too much. So please stop coming here to make nonsense claim that they make you work for PO. What the fuck are you? You now work for PO. You're trying for your lawyers. You have my receipt.
All right. Thank you so much, I've been saying something about this. Whenever there is a topic on a particular space, so many persons they will come, they will deviate from the topic. Because when you begin to talk about politics, there will be this banter and going back and forth. It doesn't make sense. Let's just stick to the topic here. They said, just have money. You will enjoy Nigeria. And then Joshua is the real deal here. That's what we'll be talking about. And it boils down to Nigerian system as well, of what they were supposed to do after the incidents that happened. All right, that's what we're supposed to discuss. So that's what we will do. So if you're here and your hand is up and you want to say anything concerning what is happening, let it be on Anthony Joshua, please. No politics. All right. If we want to talk about politics, we'll talk about politics. But once we are here, let's talk on the topic, please. So I think we're going to take on Big Noni. Your hand is up. Please, if you're on the speaker, make sure. Big Noni, you have the audience, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Noni. Good evening. Thank you for giving me the mic to speak. For me, I want to speak specifically concerning Anthony Joshua and what happened to him. I want to sincerely sympathize with him. However, I want to categorically state that there is a very serious medical inflation in Nigeria. Currently, I'm opportune to be working with a HMO company, one of the biggest in Nigeria. And I must tell you that Nigerian healthcare system is in a shambles. In fact, most times, in as much as I have a working health insurance, I am a family, but I'm not still feeling that satisfaction of being secured when I'm sick. I think the issue with hospitals now is that most hospitals are being, built by stakeholders and then appoint a medical doctor who is the CEO to manage it. And now those people are piling pressure on those medical doctors, to recoup their money back. And because of that, hospitals is all about money, money, money. Now, even to attend to a simplest issue, you will have to make a very huge deposit and all that. I tell people, even friends, that every one of us in Nigeria is just one diagnostic away from being broke. Just one diagnosis can make someone in Nigeria to go broke. So I think I don't like talking about politics, but I think we really need to hold our government accountable. We need a working healthcare system. in Nigeria. Because what happened today is just a shame. I mean, does it mean that there is no hospital that has a very good ambulance that should have come, and then, pick Anthony Joshua for a proper medical care? But I must confess, we have good hospitals in Nigeria. But do you have the finances to access it? And again, the awareness is low. Do you know that currently the health insurance system in Nigeria is as low as 10%? And even the 10%, irrespective of the awareness, a lot of people are still missing it out. And I must say this because I'm an Igbo man. It is worst in Southeast. You can verify. An Igbo man doesn't believe that he needs to ensure his health. He believes whenever he's sick, he will walk into the hospital. So I think we should focus on, the real issue here. And again, most times when I see Igbo elite, our brothers, spending their money, of course it's good, and I'm happy for them. But if government is not working for us, can't we come together and set up a good healthcare system for ourselves? I mean, those days, the first airport in Igbo land was Igbo elite that came together. That was our airport. They came together, contributed and built that airport. That airport is functioning till today. It's either we can't make it happen, because the way I'm looking at this government, to be very honest with you, it might be something that might not happen any moment. I yield my mic.
Big Noni,
Big Noni, thank you so much for your submission concerning the incident that just happened. Because if I hear you correctly, you're saying something of people coming together, having a good medical centers just by ourselves, in as much as not minding the government of all their shingles. So I really encourage that what you said, but how can we do that? That's another question. So let's hear from Osagie. Is that correct? Your hand has been up.
Good evening, everyone. I appreciate everyone for looking into this incident that happened to Anthony Joshua. It's quite unfortunate, but I see a systemic failure which we are already aware. But the question I keep asking is, are we just going to, we as citizens, are we just going to fold our hands and allow the way the government is being run in this country to continue in this manner? Does it mean that we don't have a say as regards to the governance dynamism in Nigeria? But for me, I see that we as citizens, we have a lot of role to play, and we are not taking that role up in putting these people who are our leaders. They are supposed to be doing what we demand of them to do, because this is a democracy. But I see that Nigerians, because of the way we are only concerned about ourselves. What they are doing does not concern me. It's not my business. But at the end of the day, you might be a victim of the system that is going on. So we as citizens, we have a lot. We need to have a national interest where every leader that is elected, there are duties. There are what they are supposed to do, but we don't put them to check. We just say, I beg, concern me. But at the end of the day, we are still facing the brunt of the decisions that they are taking. So for me, it is that time that we citizens, we need to wake up and be responsible to our duty as citizens, putting these people that we have elected to do the right thing, what they are supposed to do. If the way the constitution or the laws we have in this country, the way the governance structure is running the way it ought to be running, I don't think all these things we be playing at. But it's unfortunate that we citizens, we don't have a national interest. We are only concerned provided I'm okay, and it does not concern me. So this attitude, we need to change it. And where this one is rivaling the other one, there should be a national interest. You look at the statement that was released by the ADC the other day, trying to make the intervention of the US look as if we are now losing our sovereignty. Is that the issue? The question is, these terrorists, they are killing Nigerians, whether it is Muslim, whether it is Christian. That is not the issue. The fact that they are killing Nigerians is enough. You don't need to play politics with it. So these are the things that we need to work on. We as citizens, we are all citizens, including leaders. We need to have a national interest, and that national interest should override every other interest, and it will make Nigeria a better country. So that is what I would like to just say for the meantime. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think who spoke last? I'm so sorry. I was away from my phone, and I think Noni is busy as well. Thank you so much for that contribution. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. At the end of the day, it all boils down to the people governing us, So, and it's high time we started holding them accountable in whichever way. Because look at it, they have the money. If anything happens, they run away. They run abroad. Most of them that have died recently, they all died abroad. None of them have died in any of our local hospitals, which is to show you that our healthcare system is not good enough for them. So if it is not good enough for them, why should it be good enough for us? And the money they are spending is our money. It's general money, the money that they are supposed to use to make the country better, to build. Okay, Osage, could you mute yourself, please?
Osage, I will need you to mute so that you can have a good audience, all right?
Yeah, I've muted him. So the money they are supposed to use to build that health facility that should be able to take care of all of us, instead they will use it and run abroad to take care of themselves. So I really do understand where you're coming from. We have Dr. Stan. Your hand is up. You have the mic, please. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. This is afternoon precisely. Hello, everybody. This is precisely 2:06. I saw what's going on the timeline, and a few things that I really need to add to what's going on. Number one, I would say speed kills, regardless of who you are, where you're from, race, ethnicity, and wherever you're from. Speed kills, and also the idea of this dirty December and stuff like that. I have no interest in it, and I feel like when I was growing up, one of the things that I really feared, and one of the things that my dad and my parents actually would always say is that during the Christmas time, during the December time, the death rate is always very high. And most people don't pay attention to this. Most people just wave it off. That's aside. The case with the Anthony Joshua incident is that the structure of Nigeria, especially when you have trucks, either parked on the roadside or trucks that are not supposed to be in a particular lane, or a structure of driving in Nigeria, it's crazy and bizarre. We will always see these issues with road accidents. We'll always see these issues with people dying unnecessarily or trucks running into people. We would always get that. You always in a case where even with the Dangote, I match, me no green, the break no green hold, I match, and then you run into people, you kill people, and people die unnecessarily. Nobody's held accountable. Life goes on. The thing is, Nigeria as a whole run on a biased system of propaganda. Nobody is actually thinking, and ever since the whole idea and conception of you can make money online, you can sell clout and propaganda, nobody's actually thinking. Nobody's asking the right questions. Nobody's even doing the math of what we as a society, what are we looking for? What do we need? How do we hold our government accountable? What are the things on the road that should not be happening? For example, in the United States, if an accident happens at a junction, let's say a stop sign, an accident happens, the DMV, in charge of giving out licenses, would come there, look at the situation, and then find a solution, maybe put a traffic light, or put like a roundabout system where people are not going to keep dying from issues like that. You talk about the healthcare system. You don't even have healthcare system that actually could check people in the case of a disastrous incident like that. You don't even have people who are capable hands. All you do is you have people who have or pull out their phones, they're taking pictures, and everybody's like, oh. That's all. You open your phone and sometimes listen to the noise coming from the Nigerian space. You're like, whoa. Everybody's just talking loud. Nobody's making sense. Nobody's even narrating what is going on properly. Like, it's just like it's a madhouse over there. It's a madhouse. There's a lot of things that need to be put in place. A lot of people need to be put to sleep because you cannot have a healthy society with the kind of animals we have in Nigeria. You cannot. And regarding the whole healthcare system and how to view the healthcare system, having people contribute to the whole healthcare system, it is still not in your place. It is because our focus, the focus of people in Nigeria have so far shifted that everybody cares about my tribe, my race, my this, my that. Nobody's coming together like, what is the structure? What do we need? How do we, let's go to places and make videos and tell the world, tell government that this is not working. The hospitals are not working. Look at our hospitals. Nobody is doing that. Everybody just run up on nonsense and bullshit and just bullshit their time constantly, every single day. It's a man-woman talk every single day. No one's thinking. Today's Anthony Joshua. Who knows when it's gonna be or who's gonna be next? And it just Nigerians just need to wake up and start asking the right questions. They just need to wake up. And that's all I have to say. I'm enjoying this session. I listen more. I'm a medical professional myself. I see what's going on. I hear people's interest and people who have the wherewithal to ask the right questions. I hear them. But also we have people who are hindrance and stumbling blocks to how things can be managed in Nigeria. Until we all band together and work together, nothing can be done. People will die in numbers. People will suffer healthcare challenges and healthcare crises. We will always have dilapidated hospitals. We will always have a rundown healthcare system until people with brains, people who have no ties, or people who are collecting thank you, sir, from politicians, stop doing that or collect the money and still speak the truth. Until then, we would not have a reasonable country to go to. We would always have this kind of crisis. So thank you. This is my submission.
All right, Dr. Stan, thank you so much for what you said as a medic. But I would have loved to ask you a query before the person that the hand is up is said to speak. You said some small things here, but what do you think would have been a solution afterwards the incident?
Hello, you there?
Do you hear me correctly?
No.
Can you hear me? Dr. Stan, can you hear me? I think I lost his mic. Can you hear me? Doctor, can you hear me?
Donnie, we can hear you, so it's possible we lost him.
Okay. Cassiopeia, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, you have the audience.
So
hello?
good morning.
Sorry, I got into
Dr. San, can you wait a little bit? Someone is about to speak, then I will come back to your question.
Hello?
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're listening. It's quite unfortunate, but in regards, it's quite an unfortunate incident in regards to what happened to Anthony Joshua. And it actually shows a national failure, a structural failure, and an institutional failure. That simply means it shows the flaws of the country, then the Ministry of Health, likewise the health sector itself, and institutions, which boils down to the hospitals. It actually shows a total failure and a collapse of the emergency response within the country. As of today, as of 2025, the Nigerian health sector and the Nigerian health budget is 2.48 trillion naira. That simply means the money allocated from the federal allocation is 2.48 trillion. Now, if you are to break this down into if we are to break it down on how Nigerian health sector should be revamped, such money will totally reshape the Nigerian health sector, regardless of dollar being high or dollar being low. But where the main question lies, what is the Minister for Health doing? This is someone I know, but not in a close proximity. He is someone who has worked within the Nigerian health sector for long, starting from the National Primary Health Care Board down to the State Minister of Health. Then he worked at Gavi, he worked at World Bank and other agencies. When these are people that should reshape the country, in what way? Not just by policies. Policies not being translated into actions will always remain dormant. Every state, every hospital within the state have accident and emergency. Every hospitals within Nigerian state have ambulances that are totally dormant, that even if you go there today, you see ambulances with flat tires. And I was so disturbed when the Minister of Health came online a couple of weeks ago saying Nigerian health sector is actually one of the best. We are doing robotic surgeries. Before now, I used to be in the health sector before I actually found my way out of the health sector because it's a total mess. But the major responsibility lies with the citizens themselves. In what way? As citizens, we do not follow up what each ministry is doing. How can we follow up? Over 2.48 trillion was allocated into the health ministry. What do they do? What have they been doing? That should be the questions that I have always been expecting Nigerians to ask. What are the achievements? To be honest, if you guys have by chance met any politicians or anyone who is in power, one of their major fear is what? Question of accountability. That is why organizations like Budget or Budget IT keep on putting a lot of people on their toes, but the citizens themselves are so relaxed. As far as I have my money, I can get this, I can get that, but it goes beyond that. Until Nigerians begin to ask, XYZ was allocated for first quarter of 2025. What are the achievements? What have this ministry done, especially the Ministry of your particular interest? Once you begin to ask questions, believe you me, it shapes the country. Let me cite an example with the military. Until Nigerians begin to ask, what are the military doing? That is when we begin to notice changes. If not so, it's because of the voices of Nigerians that we had online through medias and other platforms. That's when we could see interventions coming in from the US, interventions coming in from the Israelis and other people. I don't want to talk about the military, but I will focus on what is actually happening. We Nigerians need to start asking. Today, what I was expecting Nigerians to do when this happened, I was expecting Nigerians to be asking, where is the minister? What has he been doing with the humongous amount of money being disbursed to him? But everyone keep on throwing jab at each other. To be honest, every society, both be it in the US, in the UK, people will always talk. Naysayers will always talk. Those who want to oppose will always oppose. But until people begin to ask for accountability, so if we've lost Joshua today, if we've lost him today, everything we go, it was speed that actually killed him. They were driving fast. Yes, everyone drives fast. But what are the mechanisms set up to manage such incidents if it happens? There are no paramedics. Yes, we have the Nigerian Red Cross that do train people on basic first aid. Yeah. What have been their role We have other, like in Lagos, I could recall, Lagos and Ogun State back then do have a paramedic settings. What happened to it? What happened to all these institutions? And if you dig deep, budgets are still being allocated, funds are still being disbursed to various units. What are they doing? That should be the next questions Nigerians should be asking. Until Nigerians begin to demand for accountability, then we go nowhere. The same questions we'll keep asking ourselves. What did we do wrong? I can't wait to get money and leave the country. Even if you leave the country, one day you may return and an unforeseen circumstance can happen. Until we begin to ask, where is the minister, the person in charge of this, what have been done so far? Where are we and where are we going? Until that are being asked, believe you me, Nigeria goes nowhere. Let's forget the portfolio. Yes, this person has worked with XYZ, he has worked with the World Bank. It's not about working, it's about translating policies into actions should be what we should be asking. Not, okay, like for 2025, I'm no longer in the health, as I said, but for 2025, Nigeria focused more on immunization, which is totally bullshit. Yes, immunization is good, I'm not ruling it out, but why allow other sectors suffer just because of what our policy says for 2025, we are focusing on immunization? As Nigerians, anyone on the platform, we should begin to demand for accountability. Tag them on social media. Ali Patti is active on Twitter. Tag him on LinkedIn. Tag him. Ask for accountability. You can go to any other ministries. Ask for accountability. They should be giving us feedback. Yes, they are ministers. They are nominated to serve Nigerians, not Nigeria serving them. I yield them. I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Cassiopeia.
Nani, I'm right here. Sorry.
I will allow my host to speak because her hand has been up. So afterwards, then I will throw the questions to you so that you can answer before we move to Will. All right?
No problem.
Okay. My able host, you have the audience, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Noni. It's good that Dr. Stan came back, and also the last person that spoke made mention of what I'm going to talk about as well. Dr. Stan said something that really struck me when he started. He said, speed is not good, overspeeding is not good. And that's when it actually struck me that the cause of this accident could be related to speeding, because he actually hit a stationary car. A stationary vehicle, like I mentioned earlier when this space started. So how can you hit a stationary vehicle and 2 people die in such an accident? So it will mean that you were speeding. You know, as much as I would like to blame,
and there was no seatbelt too. There was, because if you look at the car, there was no, the airbag did not even go off. So you can kind of see there was no seatbelt also. I just want to
exactly. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for making reference to that as well. You know, not a few years ago, probably about 20 years now, I used to do TV programs with the road safety, and the VIO in Abuja. I used to produce TV programs for them, which I did for a few years before then. Anyway, so I remember like this seatbelt thing that Dr. Stan mentioned. It's a big deal. We do not take our safety so seriously in Nigeria. So as much as I would like to blame the government for obviously the mess we see with our health sector and not having immediate kind of medical help, first aid and stuff like that we would need. But how much responsibility should we also take, as citizens? Because if they were wearing seatbelt, if they weren't overspeeding, and they took the precautionary measures that they were supposed to take as a good road users, maybe the impact of the accident, if it happens, wouldn't get to this extent of losing lives. Anyway, that's just what I was thinking while other people were speaking. Noni has gone down. Okay, I'm left by myself now. So Noni would probably come back because I'm really busy editing, but I really want to hold this space as well. Will, please, you have the mic. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me have the mic finally. All right, yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so you were actually talking about us not being serious, especially when it comes to our health or whatever and something like that, right? So, and I was just thinking in my mind, like, I was trying to ask myself, is there anything that we're even serious about in that country? And something just came to my mind. I just thought, I'm like, okay, the only thing that Nigeria is actually really serious about is actually being unserious. So, I'm not here to, speak about the accident, right? Accident occurs everywhere, anywhere, any place in the world. Okay? Accident could be as a result of mistake, or as a result of negligence, as a result of foolishness, as a result of whatsoever you want to do, right? And the accident could be as a result of that. How far the damage goes and all that, right? So accident happens anywhere in the world. So I'm just here to speak about the aftermath, right? So that an accident occur as a result of someone's negligence, or as a result of someone's stupidity, or as a result of someone being drunk or whatever. At the end of the day, when it comes to saving life, nobody is asking that question at that moment, especially when you have first responders in place. What matters most?
Will, we are losing you. I think you've lost.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yeah. Sorry, I drove into a no network area. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me now. So what matters after an accident, immediately an accident occurs, is not why it occurred. What matters most at that point is saving lives, right? And after lives have been saved, then we can talk about why it happened and how it can be avoided next time. So my concern is where we are as a country in 2025, going into 2026, when the world has gone nuclear, when the world has gone, I don't even know how to put it, like where we are as a country. I live in a country where I know we all have smartphones, right? And first of all, our smartphones in Nigeria are underutilized, right? Because this facility I'm about to talk about now is embedded there in our smartphones. We all have it in our smartphones. If something happens to me, God forbid, as I'm driving right now, and I'm unconscious, my phone will automatically call 911. Automatically, my phone will sense that something has occurred. If my phone doesn't do that, my smartwatch would do that. And then my smartwatch or my smartphone doing that is not even the issue. The issue is that the technology, what the government has put in place in terms of them being reached when my smartphone or my smartwatch does their job. So when my smartphone or my smartwatch calls 911, within 5 minutes or less, you will have the police, you will have paramedics, and you will have firefighters. I never saw, at least I saw the security there, but I didn't see paramedics and I didn't see firefighters, and I saw them dragging AJ out of his car. And it took time. It took time enough that if that car would have engulfed in flames, then that would have been another story altogether. And the possibility of that happening is there. And that's why, even if it's an ordinary scratch that you have in an accident, firefighter vehicles will come automatically, just in case, right? We never saw any of that. And then on top of that, you have someone who has been involved in an accident that you don't even know the impact. 2 people have already died. And here is this guy, a survivor. You don't even know the impact of this accident on his health, on his body, on his bones, on his muscles, and everywhere. You don't even know if he has a head injury, neck injury, or what have you, or a spine injury, or whatever. You don't know, right? You guys dragged him out of the vehicle like a chunk of whatsoever, and then put him in a passenger seat of a police vehicle. Now, this is where we are as a country in 2025, the year of our Lord, going into 2026, right? Now, there's a reason why when accident happens, they come in with the best of, especially something like that, right? Because you don't know if that person is bleeding, having an internal bleed. You don't know how many bones, because there's no x-ray at that point. You don't know how much internal injury. You might not see any blood, coming out of his flesh or anything physically, but you don't know what's going on internally, right? And that's why there's a way they stretch out such a person out. But look at how we carried him. So this is what we're talking about. When we are talking about visionary leaders, when we say that people, that your money, when God forbid emergency hits us, your money is useless. Your money will become useless when emergency comes calling. In a failed state like Nigeria, your money, at that point, you will understand the difference between money and basics, and having the basic things of life, and having the basic things in a society. It's not all about money. So this is where we are as a country. Zero vision. Zero. All they care about is amassing wealth. Zero vision. Nobody is thinking about the future. Nobody is thinking about the present. Nobody is thinking about anything. They just want to steal and steal and steal. So it's quite unfortunate. So each time things like this happen, it just reminds me of where we are as a country. Ordinary ambulance. Nigeria doesn't even have a dedicated emergency number that a 5-year-old can crown, right? We don't even have it. That something will happen now, it's okay, let me dial this number instantly that I can remember off my head. No. And then you have an emergency help immediately. No. We don't have none of that. So this is where we are. So it's quite unfortunate. So that's why we're saying that if we don't get it right, if we continue like this, the country will just keep sinking and sinking and sinking. That's just it. So at some point, I pray that we get to a point where we have the kind of leaders that think about the future, that think about even their own lives, because it is foolishness that you know the right thing to do, that will benefit not just the people, it will benefit you, it will benefit your family, it will benefit your children, because you never know when emergency would hit. And then that minute or that time you think that is enough to fly you out of the country, because that's what they always do. When it comes to emergency, every second counts. And that's why most times when things like this hit them, when when they get into an emergency situation with their health, they end up dying abroad. Why? Because that time of flying them and everything, they have a good hospital, a working healthcare system that would have been taken care of here at the right time. So it's really, really quite unfortunate. Thanks for letting me speak. I yield the mic. Let me drop to listeners.
All right, Will, thank you so much for your submission. I don't know if you can hear me. I think he has left. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. But I just want to make it clear that after the next speaker, we're going to take questions from people, because I know a lot of persons here have been hearing so many things from the submission coming from other people on the speaker. So we're going to allow people to throw their questions from what they've had so far concerning the incident that happened. So I'm going to allow Deji. Please, if you're on the speaker section and you want to speak, just keep your hands up so that we'll know that you're the one speaking next or someone is speaking after you, okay? To avoid some radio drama on the speaker. So, Deji, you have the audience.
Thank you. First off, good day to everyone, and RIP to Latz and the two guys that died, and to the best of our knowledge, for now, we're thankful to God that Anthony himself is good. He seems good to the best of our knowledge. There's no new development about that one. All that being said, it's going to come down to the situation on ground with, this God-forsaken country, in my opinion. That's what it's going to come down to, because yes, crashes do happen everywhere, okay? But it's about, the mitigation of risk before crashes happen, and then how, you're able to minimize fatality. That's what it comes down to. The in-between, that is the crash, is a constant. It's going to happen everywhere. Diego Jota died in Spain, I think a couple of months ago, right? That happened. So it can happen everywhere. It's just what happens before and after to kind of like clamp it, to reduce, the horror. Now, in this country, I know a couple of people have said, there must have been speeding. Speeding is something that leads to another crash. But why is a truck parked on the highway with no borders? Why? Why is a truck parked on a highway that has no borders, no meridian? No one's asking that question. The pattern is there. That is the thing with this country. The pattern has always been there. But no one's asking. When people die on this same highway, on other federal highways in this country, it comes down to, it's the same pattern. There is a stationary truck somewhere that's not parked between borders. There's no meridian. Why is that happening? Why? That's you mitigating risk before any crash can even happen. Because I wouldn't be surprised to find out that that truck is not functional and it's just there. Just staying there. There's no sign for caution. There's no lights. There's no, no towing vehicle coming to remove the truck from that place to make the place safe for motorists. Another thing is that it doesn't have to be Anthony Joshua. It doesn't have to be a big, boxer, heavyweight, whatever. It could just be a regular, Sikira or some girl, school, like some teenager. It could be anybody from that same place. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. It happens all the time. Why? It's a big issue, right? When a car is bad or a truck, it shouldn't be an obstacle. It shouldn't be on the road. Now, does that mean if the truck is not there that this cannot still happen? It doesn't mean that. But again, we're saying all these things to mitigate risk. You tow it away. That's number one. Number two, now it has happened. right? The crash happened. Okay, what are the next few steps? In the same place, in a place with same people, right? People that are driving, motorists, they stop and they immediately call either the paramedics, the fire service. You start to call the police. You start to call. That's what average, sensible human beings do. But look at what happened in that place. Do you know that when Kobe died in the helicopter crash a couple of years ago, and a particular outlet went to take pictures of the body, and they were posting them. You know that his wife sued for that and actually won. They're sharing pictures of this man's friends with their heads splattered on the thing on the floor. They're sharing those pictures online and videos. Where is the sense? And as opposed to helping, right? As opposed to even helping, rendering any help, they're over there with their phones out, doing all kinds of videos. To what end? What are you going to do with these videos? Are you going to go back home and watch them? And even if you want to sell those videos to some stupid blog, for how much? 10,000 naira? Or to what end are you doing all of this nonsense? Now, from the minute when the crash happened till he was removed away from that place, not even to say, forget helping about the case that has happened now, not even to save face. No single ambulance came to even save face, to even, maybe next year we can say, at least the ambulance came at some point. No ambulance came, not a single one. And when a man is injured like that, right, the one that survived the crash, you don't just put them in the front seat of some kind of Toyota Hilux or whatever. Like, you're supposed to put them on the stretcher in an ambulance. You don't know, maybe there's some kind of laceration, internal bleeding somewhere, something that people already have to check on site and in the ambulance before then conveying the victims to the hospital. Nothing, just put him in the truck wherever. We don't even know which hospital we're going to, and we're just everything is just anyhowness of Nigeria. Just do it anyhow. Just put it anyhow, drive it anyhow, run it anyhow. Everything is just anyhow. It's so bad. It's horrible. I've followed Anthony for a very long time, and those two guys, they've gone with him everywhere. If that Anthony never comes back to Nigeria tomorrow, he's justified, because the trauma of that thing, the video is always going to be there. The guy himself saw it. That's another thing. If you go to any other sensible country, when there's a trauma, a tragic event, they try to shield the people who are still alive away to make them not even see that stuff. They're parading Anthony in front of his dead friends on the floor with their brains split open. It's just, the whole thing is just bad, and it's not a good PR for Nigeria. It's not good, People over there shouting Dirty December. This is the real Dirty December, the dirtiest, nastiest one. You go over there, you're spending all this stupid money. But anyway, I think my time is up. So just to round up, something has to be done. I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Deji, for all you said so far. Well, that is one thing I always like when people speak. And as much as we all seen the faults, we all seen where the Nigerian government system has crumbled, and nothing was done, and people lost their lives, which is supposed to be the work of the government. So, in your own opinion, or rather in your own understanding, what do you think that should have been done in order to be able to save lives after that particular incident?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, Deji, yeah.
Oh, what do I think should have been done after the crash happened? I think, like I said, there has to be paramedics and fire service on ground. When an auto crash happens, it's two things. It's the victims, and there's always a potential for an explosion. So the fire service and the paramedics have to be on ground. Now, that being said, it's possible that people, like, common people,
get there before any of those services. I bet you right now, if God forbid, let's say something happened and Anthony was unconscious, but not dead, but just laying there. It could just be a 5-minute, 2-minute window. I bet none of those people shouting there have any knowledge of any, chest compressions, any CPR, nothing. It's just, just, phones shouting. Yeah, so everything comes down to just information and orientation. And that's, in my opinion, is the biggest issue in this country. It is the issue that extrapolates into every other issue. There are a lot of people that past the age of 12, if you're not equipped with the right information, the right exposure, you're bound for a life of just mediocrity and just momoness. You're just going to be a momo. That's what it comes down to. So that's what I can say about that.
All right. Thank you so much for the answer as well as the speech you made earlier concerning the incident. Thank you. I know, like I said earlier, we've taken so many people here that have been on the speaker. We've had them speak. We have them share their opinion as well as what should have been done. So I don't know if there are people that are on the listener section that still want to speak or ask questions. Like I said, we're going to take questions probably maybe 5 minutes from the people on the speaker so that we can be able to be understanding each other on this particular incident. All right. So we're going to take questions now. 5 minutes. So if you're here on the speaker and you have questions coming from the previous speakers that have spoken before, or you have something to say concerning the incident that has to do with questions, this is the time, please. So if you're here for the question, let's have it. So if anyone doesn't have a question,
Nani, what was your question? Sorry, I stepped out a little bit because I'm just really busy. I have some.
Okay, you gave so many speech concerning. You said so many things. Sorry, concerning the incident that happened.
Okay.
And I asked you because you were saying about you're talking about the government, the system. That was where you were angling it. So my question to you is this: if you were to be probably the prime minister, or if you were to be in any way within the government sector, what do you think should have been done in order to save more life? Because we lost life in this particular incident, and that's the most painful thing.
Okay, all right.
This is
all right. I would do this in 2 ways. Okay, first of all, the issue with the transportation, Minister of Transportation, there needs to be an appropriate management, an apportion of where trucks and cars and sidewalks and all of these things, like a proper management of, having vehicle, having cars driving in like so much speed. There needs to be like a check and balances with transportation. Why I say this is, I live in a first world country, and we have what they call like a speed checks. Every place you go or every street you turn, there is like a 25 speed limit. There is a 45. There is 40. That is something that the Minister of Transportation can work with the police to ensure speed is followed and people don't break that law, because then again, when you do that, it's going to curb the level of accident, bodily injury and dismemberment, just like we saw in the video where one of the guy had his hair severed from his body because so many things were actually going on at the time, because the airbag did not deploy, there was no seat belt being used, there was the speeding issues, there was a stationary trailer that was actually just parked there. So I think that number one, there should be like a conscious effort to curb the issue with transportation and road, and also combining or bringing in the police. There should be like I feel like our police are just too useless. All they do is stand and make blockades and collect money. You can be making money from people who are overspeeding. You can sit down and watch people who are not using seatbelts. There's so many things that could actually help to curb this nonsense. Okay, that aside, then you also go into the health sector. The health sector, somebody on here did talk about a whole myriad of things that I wanted to talk about, but because I was driving, I had an incoming call as well. My wife was calling me, and it threw my train of thought in a different direction. So this is the thing: when there's an accident, you don't have people surrounding that area. You don't have people trying to pull that person out of the car. Again, this is the same problem I have with the health system in Nigeria, where when there is an accident, you should have medical professionals, stretchers, people who are Red Cross teams, people who are working hand in hand with road safety commissions who are on the road and the standby, that have a lot of BLS certification, CPR, all kinds of stuff, stretcher on the sides, get people out of the car. And because there's so many things that could happen on impact when the body gets hit at that velocity, there's so many things that happens. You're talking about organ damage, you're talking about internal bleeding, you're talking about broken bones. There's so many things that you could actually look at that could actually end the person's life in seconds. They could be talking and laughing, or they could be groaning in pain, but something else is happening. And because something else is happening, it's not helping to show that we in Nigeria in 2025 have a problem with this little basic stuff. And it's a problem. So if I was the prime minister, there's so many things that can be avoided. The creation of a good transport system, the check and balances of the transport system over speeding, cars parked on the road, seat belt, the healthcare management of things, the things that I would do and put in place. There's so many deaths that can be avoided. But again, we live in a country where it's a set of rules for some people, and it's a different set of rules for the other people. So as time flies and as time goes, you will get all of this problem. You will see all of this problem, and it's continuous. That's just the thing. It's continuous. It's not ending. It's not stopping. It's getting worse. I was in that country before I left there over a decade plus, and honestly, it started happening in a minute form. Now it's cascaded into this huge thing that if you're not careful, if you're not watchful, if you're not really well aware, you would die unnecessarily. You would die for no fault of your own, because there's so many things that are not put in place. I have 3 kids. For the love of God, I cannot see myself bringing my kids there. I cannot see myself doing that. Because why? I don't want a situation where there's an emergency. Let's say they get bit by, maybe there's an accumulation of mosquito, or maybe there's something like a flare-up. Maybe there's a fever, malaria, cholera, dysentery, any kind of situation, and then struggling to take them to which hospital is going to be the best to attend to them, which hospital can I take them to that can equal the standard of the United States. I cannot begin to fathom and imagine that. And then all this while, we have government officials who are coming here. They see this life, they enjoy the environment here, but they cannot reciprocate what they see here to Nigeria. And when I look at the whole thing, it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. Honestly, if I became the president or the prime minister, I would overhaul all the system. I would put an end to the godfatherism we have in Nigeria. I will put an end to this Babiola system of government where you have to pay to get this done. If you don't sort me out, if you don't bribe me, I will put an end to it. Because why? That is the problem that is breeding this nonsense. It's breeding this mediocrity. It's breeding this low power, low level thinking and low level institution and structures and way of doing things.
You're not bringing meritocracy to the table. You're not bringing people with sound mind, people who know what they're talking about, and that has, in fact, they have a number of experience that can help country grow. When even the United States, when they're bringing in the best people who are in tech and stuff, they're bringing in the best people because why? They want to stand out. But when that is not the case, when you're not bringing the best brain, when everything is all geared towards ethnicity, it's Igbo, Yoruba, it's outside, it's this and that, and you are never going to get anything done. A house that is divided would not stand. A house that is divided would not stand. Nothing will get done. Nobody will get the help, and everybody will die. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Stan. I mean, you got me emotional there. I can understand your frustration. I believe that we are also frustrated, with Nigeria. I mean, it's 2025, and look at the sort of things that we still have to face. It's quite depressing, especially when I heard you say that you've got 2 children, I mean, either 2 or 3, and you can't even imagine yourself taking them to Nigeria. I took my 2 children to Nigeria as well. By this time last year, we were in Nigeria, and it's unfortunate that my adult son, who is 20 now, told me, Mom, I'm never going to Nigeria again, and it's a problem between us at the moment, because I'm like, you're a man, you're an Igbo man to start with. You need to identify with your roots. I've done my bits. I've taken you, I've shown you your father's house, shown you where you came from, and whatever you do with it, I believe it's up to you. But it's because of the things he experienced, and he just thinks, what he said, no, life is too hard here. And this is somebody saying life is too hard here is someone that we made almost every provision. We did everything we can to make sure that they were as comfortable as if they were in the UK. And then he turns around to say life is too hard here. Then imagine, someone else who didn't have access to sort of comfort that he had. So it's I don't know. What do we do to get ourselves out of here? Because think about it. We have all these brilliant Nigerians all over the world doing big things, doing massive things, doing exploits. And we come back home and it's like a shithole. It's ridiculous. And then we have the worst of us leading us. So how do we, because we, like the Dr. Stan said, it's not getting any better. I think either Dr. Stan or some Deji. It's getting worse, because you look back behind like yesteryears, you would think, oh yeah, it used to be better than it is now. So are we just gonna continue in this trajectory and get worse and worse and worse and worse, and then on this road to hell, or what? Anyway, Tabi, you've had your hand up for a while, so let's hear you, please.
Thank you very much, the host. I think when Noni was speaking earlier, I had my hand up, but since we were taking questions, but I just thought if I just take maybe 1 minute just to mention, I think in terms of the things I wanted to talk about, Deji and the person who spoke earlier, they've done a great job in just talking about the different aspects of it. Well, I think the thing I just wanted to get out there is just when I saw the title of this space and I sort of came in, it caught my attention. And I think the title of this space, I think that phrase, just have money and you'll enjoy Nigeria. There are very few phrases in all of my life that infuriates me as that one, because it's such a damaging way to look at things. And I think it's one that irritates me, and it's one that, and I understand it's just a standing for today's discussion on the incident around Anthony Joshua, but I think it's one that has come out from, and I don't even know if it has come out from the mindset, if it's one that drives the mindset, or the mindset has produced that phrase. It's one that I don't understand the reasoning behind it, because I don't think there is no example of a society that has survived that way, that has survived where it only works for the rich or works for the people who have money. And when people say these things, it's usually when you hear this phrase, it's usually when there's sort of an ostentatious display of wealth in a very somehow way, not in the things that matter, not in things that matter like health. We take today's incident, for example. It's a big reminder that this phrase in itself is a lie. It's makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Right? If we just tweak the variables of today's incident, just minor details. Say Anthony was in the front seat, and RIP to the people who lost their lives, and I hope they find eternal rest. Just minor variables. We could have lost him just easily like that. It doesn't matter that 1 week ago or 14 days ago or whatever, he was in the ring getting multi-million-dollar payouts. Is he not rich enough? And like I said, we've talked about it. I think maybe it's just for me to. I just wanted to vent and just put that out there. I mean, everyone has talked about the different variables, things that need to be better, things that we need to do better as a people. There's stuff for us to do as a people. There's individual responsibility, but ultimately there is more. There is more, infinitely more for the government to do, and that they are not doing at this point. And they need to do better. They need to do better. Thanks for giving me the space to talk. I'll hit the mic.
I'm so sorry, Tabe. I can just feel your voice. I can, the anger, the frustration. I'm so sorry if that phrase aggravated you. I just couldn't think of something better.
Not at all. It is his job, like, to get me, like, not. I'm sure it's just we're just using it as a, but no.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's ironical, the way you can see it's in quotation, because people would say you just have money, you will enjoy Nigeria. That is crap. That is nonsense. If it's about money, enjoying Nigeria, why are politicians who are stealing all our money, why are they not enjoying their health in Nigeria? They still all of them obviously die abroad because they cannot enjoy that money they have when it comes to their health in Nigeria. And why are people, the best of our brains, living in Nigeria? People that have good jobs in Nigeria have almost everything you can think of. When they start having kids, they're like, oh yeah, I'm looking for better life for my children. And they leave Nigeria to somebody that is like probably a medical doctor or a nurse would come to the UK, go to Canada, go to everywhere else in the world and start with menial job until they will be lucky enough to go back into their profession. Somebody like me, I was a TV presenter, quite from when I just left university. I tried to build a business for myself as an independent producer. I was doing quite well, but I left Nigeria. It took me nearly 5 years or more before I could even get myself something doing here. So it's just that balance of, okay, what do you want in life? Do you want to live the life we are living in Nigeria, or do you want, a better quality of life for yourself and probably for your children, in my own case? So it's quite sad. And the question I keep asking myself is, we just cannot continue this way. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not sustainable that we would continue for our country to be run the way it is run. As much as we all have blames to share, especially when it comes to our safety, because when it comes to your safety, you are responsible. You're the number one person responsible for your safety before anything else. But then, like Tabe just said, imagine that the situation was swapped, that, condolences to the family that lost the two souls. Imagine that Joshua was the one sitting in front. The story would be different now. And like Dr. Stan was also trying to make us understand, like having the immediate care could be the difference between someone living and someone dying. Mr. B, I see your hand up. You have the mic, please.
Wow. Thank you once again. Such a sad reality. What we're hearing from everybody is so sad. But the plain truth is, somebody asked what the cause is. The cause is just bad leadership. Yeah, it's just bad leadership that trickles down. when you have a bad president, the bad president would definitely appoint terrible ministers, and terrible ministers will appoint terrible subordinates, and that is how incompetence, gross incompetence, is being trickled down from the top to the bottom. So that is just the basic truth. Mr. Deji did a lot of justice to most of the things I was going to say. If I would say more, look at this NNPC, the importing guy that spends about 7 billion naira to get the primary school children educated outside the country. Such a waste, such a complete waste of resources. As though he can use his own personal generated funds to sponsor such obvious waste. Are you training those children to become God on earth that you're spending over 7? In fact, if you give me that kind of bill, I would even think that they are taking something from the children, because you're spending over 7 billion naira to get a primary school children. It is mad. It is crazy. 7 billion naira would give you approximately, if we would be fair, standard federal university, at least, let's say 1, if I would be fair, or 2. I mean, very standard university for 2, let's say 2 standard university, getting built, putting all the structures and the facilities that are needed for the universities to run. But this man lavished 7 billion on primary school education for the children. Meanwhile, his state perhaps would be as poor. I mean, maybe the governor of the state is not poor, because all of them are all the same cronies, But the state where where he came from is as poor and wretched as as whatever. So it's so sad that we have leaders in helms of affair that are criminal minded. So it trickles down. It is leadership failure from the top to bottom. It is not from the bottom to top. It's from the top to bottom. So it also affects, because of that hardship that the government has instilled upon people. Somebody should check. Anthony Joshua and some of those guys that died, which I pray that their soul rest in peace. If you discover that their phone will not even be with them, somebody may have stolen the phone along the line within that environment where this accident had happened. So the hardship is trickled down, and that is how corruption is also trickled down. So the basic point is, it is bad leadership failure, and that is why 2027 is very fundamental to well-meaning Nigerians. It is very key to anybody that feels Nigeria should be better. Please, after 2027, if we don't get it right, which I'm sure we are going to get it right, as many of us that are on the speakers section, I would need you to help me jet out of Nigeria. If that is the case. Yes. If there is any way you can help me, so me too, I will run and jet out of the country. So that is on a lighter note. But however, let's try to get 2027 right. It is very fundamental. A lot of people would be wasted. A lot of people would be killed. A lot of people will die. I'm not talking about people who are dying of natural death. I'm talking about people who are being snatched by violent death. We watched the video of security video where people in the bus were brought out of the bus, and they were using wood to smash their brain off their heads. That's things we are going to be having. Apart from the accident is just it can be categorized as a particular form of death. But I'm talking about this form of death that is caused by human being, as in physically causing death to human being. Okay, let me say, killing human being. When I mean killing, meaning the person died for his actual time, not a death that was caused by natural phenomena, but something that was inflicted by somebody else, supposed to be avoidable. We're going to be having that if we do not have right leaders. And the situation that happened today, wasn't just today, where to some places of these terrorists. That is to say that the past 5 years, let us be fair, for the past 15 to 20 years, we've been playing with terrorism. We're allowing terrorists to butcher and to kill our people for nothing. Because now the terrorists are now scouting for years that will discover that there was, and even today, if you are familiar with the current happening today, I think two smoke ganja weed trailers, saw people who are possession, and ran into them, killing scores of people just today. So that is to show you the level of bitterness, the level of evil, the level of wickedness, the level of gross incompetence, that is happening in the country. Because it is very likely that if people are doing possession or are gathering in a particular place, there should be police officers, there should be law enforcement officers to direct traffic so that there will not be casualties. That situation, I think, was deliberately caused by the trailer drivers just want to kill Christians that are doing procession or doing celebration on the road. So it is that sad. There are a lot of things that are happening in this country that are caused by bad leadership. Bad leadership. So as for this Joshua's case, may the soul of the departed, the two that were killed, rest in peace. But just like somebody had said, that exposing those people who had died to Joshua would break him a lot, because those people were said to be the people who show him around, who take him around. It's so sad, for me. So my stance is 2027. Let us not joke with 2027. In my own capacity, we're making sure that we mobilize as much as we can to stand behind the candidate we feel is credible. Okay? Yes, to stand behind the candidate that is credible. Let us be all out for this. Yes, they had stolen the 2023 mandate. Let's work towards 2027 and make sure they don't steal our mandate again. Because all this depends. The number of people who have died from 2023 to today is as a result of the gross incompetence or the ability for we Nigerians not to be able to defend our votes. Because if we had defended our votes in 2023, most of the killings, most of the destruction, thank you so much. Let me round up. Most of the destruction that had happened or that have been happening wouldn't have happened, and a lot of killings that had gone on over this time wouldn't have gone on. The reason why we say so is because this Xmas period has shown that there are deaths that would have been avoidable if the right leadership were in place. There are a lot of deaths that would have been avoidable. Now we've had a lot of casualties from 2023 till date. And perhaps if care is not taken, we'll still have more. So all this trickles down because of bad leadership. And for the speeding of Anthony Joshua, a lot of accidents happen in every other country. But there are systems that mitigate all these things. There are systems. If there were cautions for the driver of Anthony Joshua, if it was Anthony Joshua that was driving himself, there are cautions in the United States that I know. There are speed limits you exceed in a particular zone, and you'll be fined, and you'll be stopped by traffic warders or by road patrol. You'll be stopped, and questions will be channeled to you. You'll be tested for alcoholism and every other thing. So if there are no systems, who makes systems? It is human beings. Who are the human beings that make systems? Leaders that make systems to work for the people. So all these things trickles down to leadership at some sort. So if we try to make those things work, and let's investigate, let them investigate who are the people who parked that trailer there. Why is the trailer there? Road safety may have even seen that trailer parked there and just pass because they are interested in getting 200, 500 for motorists. They'll just see it there and pass. Why is the trailer there? Is the trailer supposed to be in that part of the road, that busy road? If the trailer had gotten it should be told. It should be told. And all that. Thank you so much. That is, I feel so bad for the two people that lost their life and a lot of other people that have been losing their life as a result of all this. Thank you so much. Let me yield and give other people opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, Mr. B. I mean, I can feel you. I do understand. I'm sorry I had to cut you short, sort of. It's just that we have about 5 new people join us, and I'm sure they would also want to speak. But you're still here, and we can hear your voice again. Geologist, you have your hand up, but I will go with Deep Sky because I think he's the first person among every other person that we have. Kindly take your hand up. I know everybody wants to speak, so kindly raise your hand up. It helps me to pick who is ready to speak, please. Deep Sky, you have the mic. Thank you.
All right, good evening. Merry Christmas. Although Merry Christmas is gone, so I'll simply say compliment of the season. Well, I don't have much to say about this topic because then the question is, now that this event has happened to supposedly, I call him sports icon or celebrity, is it going to make any difference? The answer is no. Almost on a daily basis, we see reports like this all over Nigeria, accident, people die on the road. This year alone, I'm very sure in Lagos alone, we had more than 100 situations like this, including trailer falling off and hitting cars on the road. Is it going to change? The answer is no. And why? Because Nigeria is a place where, and it's a country of anyhowness. Nothing works. Nobody's interested in making it work. Those who have been mandated with the authorities or the institutions that are supposed to do the right thing are not willing to do so. And Nigerians are not willing to collectively call them out. So I don't expect anything different other than saying for the sportsman himself and then those who lost their lives. Just rest in peace to them. That's all. I don't expect much. It's not going to change. Give it 1 week or 2 weeks, you're going to see a similar incident. So life continues. The reason why this is gaining attention is simply because there's supposedly celebrities involved. And other than that, nobody will talk about it. So what it tells you something, we are not interested in moving forward as a nation. Just like I've always told you, Nigeria is not going to make it continue like this because nothing has changed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deep Sky. Of course, condolences to the families that lost their dear ones. It's quite sad. You know, we keep losing a lot of lives unnecessarily. These are deaths that shouldn't have happened. You know, I know it's an accident. Accident can happen anywhere, but there are certain accidents that you think, okay, in a different scenario, would this person have died? You know, but we are not helping ourselves because we are trying to sell Nigeria to the diasporans. And okay, somebody, I was gonna make a joke of that. Mr. B, you said after 2027, and if nothing changes, that people should help you get out of the country. You see, it's not about Japa. Anthony Joshua doesn't even live in Nigeria. If you think about it, he only just probably came for a visit, and look at what has happened to him. So, and the 2 people that were with him, I understood that they are like his team members, you know, people that work for him. So I also believe that they do not live in Nigeria, but look at what has happened to them. So it's not about Japa, it's just about the system that we have down there in Nigeria. If those guys were in the UK, I believe probably that's where they live today, they wouldn't have met their untimely death, you know. Anyway, Geologist, you have your hand up. After you, we go 247, and then we come to Bagza, and we'll start thinking about rounding up for today. Geologist, you have the mic. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, presenter, Mommy Enke, everyone on the speaker session, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Obina Natana. Yeah, I would like to, to contribute to this. But first of all, it's good that Mommy Enke have made it known that this caption is an irony, because I must tell you, Nigeria now is not, it's not a place that you can say just have money, you enjoy Nigeria, because currently, as I speak to you now, we all know that even the uncommon man is not, Nigeria is not a safe place for even uncommon man, let alone a common man. Rest in peace to those the two persons that lost their in this accident that just occurred that involved AJ, Anthony Joshua. Rest in peace to them. May God grant their families, loved ones, the fortitude to bear the lost. But let's get a clear lesson from this occurrence that took place today. As a safety officer, I must tell you that road traffic accidents, human factor is about 90 to 95% caused by human factor. Reason being that, considering the fact that we are into festive periods, we experience reckless driving, we experience people driving and taking alcohol, people making phone calls and, driving at the same time. I want to give us these little tips of safety so that, not as if we don't know it, but at least let it be a kind of reminder to some of us so that it will help, to reduce or mitigate this rate of accident. Because if you listen very well, you know that this accident of 18 is very rampant. Today's one just was, went viral because it involved a celebrity. What of those that happen in other places? So please, one of the things that I want to let us know is we should always obey traffic rules and speed limits. There is speed limits attached to every roadway. Some of us, we drive contrary to these rules. Let us always obey the traffic rules and speed limit. Speeding reduces reaction time and increases severity of accidents. That is the fact. Do not drive under influence of alcohol. I've made mention of it. Do not drive. If you are drunk, please just get settled a little before, handling the steering. Do not drive when, you are intoxicated, when you're on drugs or fatigue. If you are tired or bed, stop and rest or arrange another driver. And if you are there, most times, okay, I will share a little story of what happened to me in 2015, December. That was on my birthday. That was 25th December 2015. That was on my birthday. Birthday morning like this. We stopped by, to get to refuel our car. So all of a sudden, I was just looking. Then I saw a flashy car, coming using the pedestrian. Pedestrian are made for walkway. So that car left the middle of the road and was, riding on the pedestrian. So I was very observant, though it's by the grace of God. But as soon as I left that position I was standing on, that car hit the next car, that was in my front. So I assumed that I was not observant. So later on, we now find out that the lady that was driving the car
was sleeping, like they were coming all the way from Abuja. So she rode overnight and she was, sleep come. So she was battling with it. So please, when you feel sleeping, please just relax. Let another person drive you. And again, avoid distractions while driving. So many of us will be driving and will be making call. We forget that we only have one life. We only have one life. Those people that died today, you can't see them again on this face of earth. If we know how fragile life is, we should be very careful of anything we do regards to safety. Avoid any distraction. Don't even pick up while you're on steering. That person should wait for you to calm down. Yes, you will still make the call. It's not running. You understand? Please, most importantly, always wear seat belts. Always wear seat belts. I don't know, some of us, we take this, we take it for granted. Most times, we do think that, nothing they happen. Nothing they happen. Yeah, human beings, we are meant to be optimistic. But most times, nature has its own way of judgment. You can never tell. Once you board a car, please put on your seatbelts. It's very, very necessary. If accidents occur, the casualty will be minor. It will not be major compared to when you are not on seatbelts. Then maintain a safe following distance. Some of us, due to traffic, will try to overtake or do this or that, Please, let's maintain a safe distance. Having said all this, please, I would like us to be careful, ride safely, maintain safety, be safety conscious, as God will keep on saving us in Jesus' name. I will hear the mic for other speakers on the on the speaker session to take over. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, geologists, especially for the final part of your submission where you gave us that safety tips. I think that's one of the most important things that's been said here tonight. So even if one person goes away with your advice, it's something that's been achieved. And thank you so much for taking your time to do that. Ugo 247, you have the mic, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, the host, and my greetings to every one of us. And the last speaker has spoken very well. Thank you so much. But I must say, the truth is this. In a country where there is no law, there is no rule, nobody cares to obey whatever we see as law. Because this Anthony Joshua with the friends, we know they are all traveling all over the world and they drive. If Anthony Joshua should be in UK where we know he lives with the friends, they will never have driven without seatbelt. They will never have gone beyond the road sign. Maybe this is a road you should apply 120 or 80, and you see somebody driving 150 or 200 or even more. But because Nigeria is a place where there is no law, the only kind of law that exists in Nigeria is a law where the poor will be intimidated, where the law will be thrown into dungeon and nobody will ask of him. And the other side of it I want to say is this. Today is Anthony Joshua. We have a lot of these celebrities. A lot of poor people die every day like this and nobody gathered to speak about them. But let us just stand. We should just keep speaking about these celebrities if that will make a difference. I remember during the NSAS, I watched Tiwa Savage came out almost in tears. and call out celebrities from America. She called on P. Diddy, Combe. She called Beyonce, and she called a lot of them to come out and help us. And these people came out and they speak up. And I believe, even if it's just a second, a word they speak makes difference. From my own, nobody knows me. Nobody knows us. But I believe if somebody like Anthony Joshua have been speaking, and all these our celebrities has been speaking, who knows? Something must have been, maybe something could have been done. We've seen trailer fell on people and people were crushed. We've seen trailer crush people. We've seen trailer run into people that were demonstrating, protesting peacefully. Nobody speak about them. There's nothing like insurance being given to the family. Nobody knows them. They don't have name. We have seen many people gone back from Europe after so many years of suffering, managed to get a car, maybe on loan even. They bought this car, they went home to enjoy themselves, maybe just for 1 week. Police will shoot them and they throw them into water. Police have said to me, if you talk, I will shoot you, throw away you for this small water. Nothing will happen. My brother said, bro, keep quiet too. I was panicking. Maybe that night, if that police had shot me and thrown into that small lagoon, tomorrow morning people will say, hey, he's a thief. Maybe they will leave one small gun there. Many people are dying. Nigeria is a place where if you are alive this minute, the next minute, you are not even sure if you are going to remain alive. If you are driving this minute, next minute, you are not sure. It's either a trailer will smash you with your motor and nobody will say anything. It's either police will mount a roadblock that will frustrate you into dungeon and into a pothole that will destroy you and destroy the whole family in the car. Nobody cares. We have celebrities. Somebody once said that Nigeria, I think Aisha Bello, I can't remember, said Nigeria is turn by turn. And this turn by turn doesn't distinguish the rich from the poor. It's Tony Joshua today. Tomorrow, who will be the next celebrity that will be involved? I'm not talking about the others because the poor are always the victims every minute, every day. And we are talking about Anthony Joshua because people were there to record. What about if this had happened in a place where nobody were able to see the record what happened? He would have died there. No ambulance, no presence of any security. They were even dragging Anthony where to put him in our own car. Police said, no, my own car. Somebody that was in a fatal accident. We saw 2 people dead and you were dragging him. This person wanted to so that you will make name. Hey, I'm the one that carried. Oh, not me. If not be me, nobody for carry. And police were there. Where was the road safety? Where we are there? Nigeria is good. They are talking about extorting people with tax now. What are they doing with that? No fire service. What about as they were trying to drag out Anthony, then you hear boom, is fire. Both Anthony, both those that were trying to rescue him, all of them would have gone ablaze. And we will come and cry. After crying, another one will happen tomorrow. Well, I thank God that we no get them. We could cry for them. We get them. They are sick. They will be flown to America just for headache. But they will still die there. For me and you, we are sick. We will stay and that we go take that fake paracetamol. Still, God go make it good. We go heal. Nothing go do us. Money is not answerable to everything, as they say. Even say the Bible does so. Money cannot answer everything. Sometimes you have to answer for yourself. If every celebrity in Nigeria would join forces, have you seen the celebrity, on a space like this? Have you seen them host space speaking about the ill country they have called Nigeria, speaking about what Nigeria is doing to people on the day, on the night, morning, school, people cannot go to school, people cannot afford school fees, people protest for tuition fees that we should. Have you seen our celebrities protest? Have you seen them say anything? No, because they believe they are fine. After all, my children can go to school abroad. But you've forgotten that after going to school abroad, you will one day want to come and enjoy yourself. That one day might be the day Nigeria will happen to you. We should learn. I wish our celebrities could listen. Thank you so much for this opportunity, the host. Honestly, I've been enjoying this for long. Thank you so much, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Ugo Futai 247. I really appreciate your contribution. We have Immaculate and we have Bagza. These are the two people left. So we'll take Bagza. He's been here longer than Immaculate. Bagza, you've got the mic, please.
Thank you, Kiki. Good evening. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, everyone. Some speakers have spoken very, very well, which I buy into. And overall, I still think the root cause of the issue was not actually emphasized on, which should actually point to the fact that the subject of this space is just have money, you will enjoy Nigeria. I will explain what this phrase simply means. This phrase simply tells you that if you have money, you can oppress the people who are weak. This phrase simply tells you that if you have money, you could actually manipulate the system. It simply means that if you have money, you could wriggle your way through injustice. It also means that you could wriggle your way through actually breaking the law and destroying the law. This particular statement is also the reason why many people are very confident that no matter what they do, because they have money, they can do and undo. They can unalive people and they can degenerate people. They could, they could inflict harm. Let me just don't use that word that I just almost used. This particular phrase is the same reason why the populists, they glorify criminals and they shame the actual humble and legitimate citizens of this country. This particular statement is the same reason why someone will take what belongs to you and will bully and oppress you because they are very confident that nothing of significance would happen to them. You see, I, as a person, I have come to realize that Nigerians are not necessarily angry about what's happening in Nigeria, provided it does not happen to them. And I will also say this again. Nigerians are very happy with the state of the nation, provided that the state of the nation does not happen to them at this point in time. You could even look at it in the so-called elite. In fact, Nigeria does not have an elite. Let's even start with that, because who are elites? Elites are people that actually utilize power for the right purpose. But tell me one leader in Nigeria now currently sitting in these arms of either APC or PDP that are occupying power, that are actually using the power that has been bestowed on them to do the right thing. You can't point me to one. And that tells you that this is a fundamental problem. And let me even go further. Someone spoke about the 2027 election. I will tell you something. Nothing would happen come 2027. And you know why? we had a golden opportunity in 2023 to actually make a statement. But what did many people do? So many people kept quiet and maliciously decided to do that because they had someone in power, someone close to someone in power, someone that is within their tribe or their tribesmen, or someone from their religion. You look at the way they successfully demonize this Muslim ticket to begin with, and you start to ask yourself this question. Were you not aware that the country has never done such because of the faith that governs multiple cultures in this country? Don't you know that when you make such statements, it puts your country in bad light? Tell me one Muslim country in the Middle East now that is not in the bad light of the Western world. And you would not be shocked to be surprised that Nigeria was listed as a country of concern. 1 + 1 is 2, but you will find out that Nigerians will find a case, an argument to make sure that 1 + 1 = 11. This starts with you and I. But for me as a person, I tell you where I stand, and I believe everyone knows where I stand by now. But ask your neighbor, ask that your friend, that your colleague in the office, when you start talking about reality, they start to deflect. They start to use straw-man arguments to bury the truth. And they think they are clever. You find out that the so-called people who you think, and I repeat, who you think are actually intelligent, but they are just manipulators. They are malicious. And the worst part of all, they are worse than the devil itself. Look, we can come here and moan about, oh, Joshua was in accident and all that stuff. There are many people that died within the last 48 hours, even before Joshua news came up. Tell me one news media, tell me one government parastatal, tell me one of your so-called celebrities or yeyebrities, as they are being called now these days, you know, and the so-called useless people that some people are glorifying as elites have come outside to speak to the tone or even shown workings on what they can do to stop the killings of those people. Do you know how many people even died within just this week on the road? But people don't understand. You can give all the road safety tips, you could give all the guidance and all that stuff. But once governance is faulty, it is useless. Everything comes out of the window. Let me bust your bubble. They could have as well been driving at the right speed limit, but that accident will occur. You know why? That truck or the trailer, as Nigerians will call it, was actually taking some portion of the road. Now, if a road is meant to be, let's say, 30 meters wide, and you have trucks parking on both sides of the road or one part, the trucks are most likely to take anything between 10 meters away from a road that is supposed to be a dual carriage lane. For context, it also means that instead of your car to be able to sit on 7 to 10 meters portion of a particular lane, you would find out that you are now struggling for less than 20%, if I'm not mistaken, because they are not actually going to park out of the curb. They will park actually on the road. And all those cars coming in will have to maneuver their way. See, even in road safety or in driving tests, they do eye tests. Do you know why they do eye tests in Western world? Some people have long sight problem and short sight problem. It means that they will project things that are near far and project things that are far near. That has an impact on every individual driver. This is why I tell you that even if you follow all the rules, but once the root cause of the problem, which is the lack of governance, the lack of protection for road users, like I would even say, is faulty, nothing would work. I repeat, nothing would work of any sort. This is not rocket science. The same road safety officials that are there that turn up, don't be surprised that they were not actually there for, to actually do their job. They were looking for people to extort. The trucks or the trailers, like people do call, that park on the road, were actually allowed to park on the road with the approval of these officials. This is why I said, without the governance, everything is useless. Everything is faulty. Nigerians are waiting for people to come and spoon feed them over the so-called power that is within their foresight. And why? Because if a Yoruba man now breaks the law, and the FRLC officer that comes around is a Yoruba man, that Yoruba man would get spared of the law. Or at worst, he pays a bribe and he walks free. But watch how that same FRFC will look at maybe an Edo man, or what's it called, or a middle belt man, break the law and see him want to shine and prove that he's actually doing his job, or he knows what he's doing. This is why the fundamental problem of this country is the lack of governance. And who are the government? You, the people, are the government. But for some reason, Nigerians have been brainwashed to think they can put their religion, their tribe, or their selfish interest above governance. The moment you have that in a society, that society is doomed to fail catastrophically. And that society is bound to perish. I am not here to prophesy doom, but these are the trend. This is what is happening. This country is dying in real time, like in real time. You just have a situation where the president and a couple of cabals have just orchestrated 2 tax laws with the aim of exploiting an already weakened position, an already weakened populace that are even struggling to fend for themselves. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot tax what is not existing. You cannot tax people for money that they do not have. And likewise, the so-called 5% of the populace that are so-called rich, or maybe elite, or maybe, we don't even have an average class. So them don't even call average class, because all the average classes now that I know, they are actually struggling. See, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot maneuver your way to prosperity when governance is dead in real time. You found out that one of the so-called elites in Dangote was crying out because why? He found out that someone within his elite or within the elite is trying to sabotage his investment. Yes, that is when you see them come outside. And it's the same thing that has been happening with these so-called celebrities. The only time you see them coming out now to make noise or to talk is when it happens to someone very close to them, not even necessarily within their industry or within their within their domain of practice. You don't need people to tell you that your country is dying in real time for you to know. Look at the man next to you. Look at what they are doing. Does it sit well with what we are looking for? Does it sit well with a country that is so full of vibrant people that, people would definitely respect, because we can take something out of nothing and make it something? I'm not here to share condolences or to feel empathetic. The most important thing is Joshua is alive. But I'm pretty much sure that before he steps a foot in this nation, he will have a second thought. Because you know why? He was just few minutes away from being a multi-millionaire's debt. This is the guy that is worth over $250 million in net worth, apart from other assets. That's it. That make that sink into your head. And he could not even get a single paramedic or even a first aid box or something around to stabilize him. He has to be traveled out in that pain and that condition. In a sane society, such individuals are not meant to walk. They are not meant to be transported to anywhere other than the ER, where they will go intensive testing and intensive care. And let me bust it to those of you who are thinking he should have gone to private hospital. Your so-called private hospital, which one is the best in Lagos now? I think it's Evercare that people like to make noise about. Your so-called Evercare don't even have the qualified personnel even with them at this point in time, because they are short of staff. That is where the brain drain comes into play. Why do you have a brain drain if you have a working and functional system? you have a president that comes outside and glorifies and sweetens out and must watch the fact that APC is the fastest growing party in Africa. Why can't you boast about Nigeria is the fastest growing economy? Nigerians are the fastest growing society. Nigerian schools, Nigerian education system, the Nigerian constructive, what's it called? Infrastructure is the fastest growing even in West Africa. It tells you how useless this country has become. It tells you how useless ECOWAS has become. Take it from me, take it or leave it. You guys will be shocked. You will be here for a real-time eye-opener that if God so doing, you might be able to experience 2027 if you are still in this country. And there is another flip to it. There might actually not be a Nigeria in 2027 with the way the trend and the map is going in real time. Because right before your eyes, some Western forces have capitalized on the inability of your government, of the governors in this country, to do the right thing. And now they are bringing the chaos that used to exist in the Western world into your backyard. And before they even did that, now it is actually on your soil. You are about to witness Afghanistan 2.0 in Nigeria in real time. And people still come in here. I look at some gullible people still talking about dirty December. Don't worry. You want to do dirty December, you will find out in real time if there will be a country for you to do dirty December. Because at the end of the day, one Hausa Fulani man will tell a Yoruba Muslim man that you are an infidel because the way you practice Muslim does not commensurate with the way we practice Muslim in the north. Make it make sense. These are people that are actually Islam by religion, and within there is a segregation. Now you look at an Igbo man and a Yoruba man. They go into a public office. Let's say they went to do CFO for a land deal, or they went to Alausa Ikeja for government paper. But because the admin officer or the registrar there can speak Yoruba with the Yoruba man effectively, they will quickly attend to him with a lot of smile and with let's answer. But look at the way they'll treat that Igbo man. That Igbo man would definitely pay tooth and nail with a lot of unnecessary paperwork, with a lot of unnecessary, unnecessary protocols, for him to get what has actually been defined in a book of law that has been written into the process for that person to get what he needs or what. The same lackadaisical attitude exists in banking sectors and so many others. I am not here, like I said, to show condolences. The key thing for me is Joshua is fine. But if you don't have a reality check now that you might not have a you might not have a country come 2027, and you're still thinking that, oh, if we do this and that, it's going to be... No, this is the time you actually have to squeeze them by the neck now. These are the signs you need to know that this is a failing society. At this point, I'll yield the mic for the next person to go. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Oh, wow. Bagsa, thank you so much for that emotional submission. I mean, you said a lot of things I would have not argue with you on, but like have a conversation with you on. But I don't think this is the right day for it, because it's meant to be like a sober reflection for all of us. But I really enjoyed your submission, and I believe that
you can always reach out to me on my chat box. I give you.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'll follow you back as soon as I'm done with this. Okay, so we had oh no, I think she's dropped, unfortunately. Oh dear. And she was supposed to be the only lady that would have spoken. Oh well, apart from you hearing my lovely voice. Okay, so I think that's us done. We don't have any more new speakers and nobody has their hand up, so I don't think anyone else wants to say anything else. But I really want to appreciate all of you for being here today. And geologists, I really enjoyed that you took your time to give us those safety nuggets. And I really do hope that this will be a sober reflection for all of us, as much as that we like to hold our government accountable and blame them for everything. But let us also use this opportunity to think about how important our safety is to us and how responsible are we towards our safety. Like I said earlier, you are the first person responsible for your safety before anything else. And this is part of the reasons why if you're in a plane, you are told in case anything happens, make sure that you fix your own. Geologists, remind me, what is it called? The thing that they always show you when they are doing the safety checks in plane. And in case you go into a water that you were supposed to mask, oxygen mask. You're told to make sure that you fix your own oxygen mask. Yes, you fix your own oxygen mask first before you fix, even for your child. So what does that imply? It means that you come first when it comes to safety. So you need to take your own safety, more responsibly, more seriously. If you're in a vehicle and you're being driven and the driver is overspeeding, it's your responsibility to make sure that that driver, maintains the adequate speed limit. Or if it's possible for you, you get down from that vehicle because you come first before anything else. Okay, guys, thank you so much again. And I really enjoy doing this. And I think I'm going to try to do it a bit more. I'm so grateful to have connected with all of you. And those that followed me, I'll follow back as soon as this is done. And I wish you a fantastic new year, because it's just a few days from now. And I do hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, and thank you so much again. Bye.